and go. Hello. Welcome to DrawBomb. You know,
yes.
that
Hello.
show.
We're here.
The show we do.
That show we insist on doing every week.
Yeah. Even though everyone keeps telling us to knock it off.
They keep begging and pleading. They're like, please, don't.
I've been offered lump sums of money to stop.
Yeah, I've been offered a cool milli to not do this anymore, but I would have said yes, but I was a little too late on it.
The game, for the love of the game, you know, I enjoy it too much.
Oh, I tried to cash out, but I straight up missed the window of opportunity.
My bank thought it was some kind of fraudulent thing, and
yeah, we would call you about. I mean, back when I used to work in a bank, that is the sort of thing we would definitely say. This is probably a scam.
They go, "You don't tell me."
And then you got scammed, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But one of these times, it's gonna be really satisfying to talk to somebody like that and then be right. The hard part is just rebuilding wealth that is worth stealing again each time around.
Yeah, it's
Nobody wants to
once
scam
you
you when
lose
you've
the
been
first 5,000 to a scam, it's hard to get that next 5,000.
right. Nobody wants to scam you again once you're still recovering from the first scam.
Yeah, especially the banks. They generally will shut your account down if fraudulent activity has been detected.
Yeah, it's like I thought this was America, where I was free to, step straight into financial ruin.
Well, freedom is only for the people who have the money still in their account. That's how it works.
Yeah, and mine got stolen from me because of that fraud.
Yeah,
I wish
so
the bank would have warned me.
They in this scenario they did.
Well,
So how's it going, everybody? How's your week been going? Were you fraudulently scammed out of thousands of dollars in your bank account?
This week, no, fortunately.
Not directly.
Yeah. How about you? How's your week been going?
Well, it's always weird to say how's your week going, because it's this is technically the second day of the week, but
right. I guess
it's
since last Monday.
Yeah, it's still how's the week been? It's just it sounds like we mean a different thing than we actually mean, but
look, Ian, time is relative.
I've been doing a lot of thinking.
Monday to Monday is still a week.
It is. It's 7 days. It's been 7 days since you last heard the theme song.
Unless you listen to it on your own.
That's true.
We need to put all the songs on Spotify for people to enjoy.
That is something I've been looking to do eventually once I get
That'd be awesome.
a couple more tracks. Yeah, I want to finish these up. I actually over the course of this weekend, there's this guy who does these tutorials on how to music production, music theory, Ableton, all those things, and I started watching his videos again because I've been doing this sort of collaboration music project with an old college buddy of mine. So just to kind of get myself prepped for the next stage of the project, I was looking into those tutorials, and goddamn, there are some good tutorials. So I joined their Discord. So I've been, talking with other music folks for 2 days now. But it's a cool place, very nice people.
Nice. Do you want to plug what that is, or is it a public thing, or is it a private?
Oh, it's pretty public. I mean, you have to follow the rules, and they have they have an interesting setup for their Discord. I'd love to figure out how they do that sort of thing for if we ever get people.
Well, if I know anything about our followers or our viewers, they're super respectful. So
They're
much
very
so that
respectful.
they almost don't say anything during the show.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes they really abide by the silence. That they don't heckle.
No. No.
sometimes.
In fact, they don't interact at all because they might be worried that would be misconstrued as heckling.
Yeah. So don't worry, folks. It's not. You can talk. It's fine. Everyone who's in me, you can talk now. You can say words.
It's sure to be.
But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, nothing. I was just making another dumb joke. Go ahead.
Make the dumb jokes. That's what this whole show is about.
Yeah, you're right. I was gonna say it's sure to be like a whole. You've opened the floodgates now. They're all gonna start.
I did. That's what I do. When people are like, "Hey, don't pull that lever. Those are our floodgates. They keep us from being flooded." I say, "Fake water news."
You're like, I've never been flooded before, so it can't be real.
Can't be real if I haven't been flooded.
Never in my lifetime have I been drowned by a flood, so floods don't exist.
Drowning doesn't exist, and neither do floods, because I've proven it.
It's getting pretty on the nose right now.
Yeah, we're starting off pretty political today, but
when don't we?
True. We like to say it's not that kind of show, but I think we've come to terms with the fact that it's a little bit that kind of show. But the YouTube channel that I've been watching, this guy is really good at teaching stuff. Like, holy shit! Like I watched one of his videos on how to do. Hold on, I gotta look up how samurais this sword thing. How to draw in general.
Before every show, I Google how to draw.
I look up like one of those tutorials, like how to draw SpongeBob, where they tell you the exact way the animators like draw a SpongeBob.
Step 1, draw a square. Step 2, draw SpongeBob.
That's shit. That's how you do it?
Yeah.
Damn, I am fucking up here. But but yeah, that dude's tutorials are like super helpful because like he's got one like how to like do how people like write their lo-fi beat chords, and I was just curious. I was like, all right, what are you gonna say? And then like straight up, it's just like he starts out by giving you some music theory about how the chords work, and I was just like, this is how you do a tutorial. Just like explain everything.
You came in jaded. You thought it was gonna be. You didn't think it was gonna get the job done, but right off the bat.
I've watched a few lo-fi beats tutorials just because I like to see what sort of tutorials people are doing sometimes, and also because I am looking up tutorials to help me desperately in how to make this shit work. And a lot of folks are just like, yeah, so like you want to put in like a shitty piano MIDI, and then I've got this MIDI pack you can download. It's got a whole bunch of chords you can like swap around, and I was like, no, I want my own chords. So like this dude, he starts the video out and he tells you music theory about what chords are used in jazz, and like how like changing the upper key, like I don't even know the words yet, but how you change the one of the keys that's not part of the triad to make it into a seventh or a ninth or a distended seventh or whatever. It's
I don't even know what you mean by all this, but I'm not asking you to explain it either.
Oh yeah, no, I couldn't. That's why you should go check out those tutorials.
Exactly.
The guy's channel is You Suck at Producing. And it's funny, but it's like interesting because it's almost like his way of presenting the tutorials is very interesting too, because like he starts out less so in the character like when he started the channel like 4 years ago, but like it's sort of evolved over time where he delivers all the tutorials as like a character where he's just like, hi, I'm Underbelly and you suck at producing, and he just like has like a deadpan voice, and he uses like he like says wowzers all the time, and anytime he like shows you his example of like what he just taught you how to do, he like plays the song and then just goes, oh god, yeah, oh that's great.
I have a soft spot for people that teach effectively but also are entertaining at the same time. I mean,
yeah, I don't know if that makes me like a bad learner, but edutaining things are so much more fun than like just straight talk.
I don't think it makes you a bad learner just because you like a certain. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't learn the traditional fashion. It just means that you like that.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, this guy is like teaching you. Like I started like once I watched a few tutorials that like I wanted to like learn specifically what he was teaching. I decided to just like start from the beginning. Even like it's nice that he uses my same music making program. He uses Ableton Live, but you know, I started watching like the beginning of his series of tutorials, even ones that are just like, here's how you use Ableton, because I figured, I mean, I know all this shit, but I might learn something. And he like has a video about like decibels and volume level and clipping, and he straight up just like explains how decibels work, like how they work mathematically. And I was just like, shit,
You weren't expecting to
I
get to
had
that
no
level.
idea. This is how you teach. You actually like teach everything about the thing.
You got to start at the basic level to get to the actual like the in-depth stuff.
Exactly. And like he does, and he's very good at it too. Like it's definitely a skill to teach so quickly and succinctly.
Well, that's the
This
thing.
hand looks terrible on the sword, the one I'm drawing right now. This looks like dog shit. Jesus.
It doesn't need to be completely redone. Some tweaks can be made. That's the thing. It's like even if somebody's an expert at something, it doesn't mean they're great at teaching it always. So that's a skill in itself. Being able to teach, even if you could be the master at any craft, but doesn't mean you know how to teach it.
Yeah. So it's cool to see like a video series where he's being goofy. He's saying a lot of shit. Like he's talking about drinking pee sometimes, or he's talking about like he's
Part of
like
the process.
describing waveforms as like dicks, and then like all the harmonic waveforms are secondary dicks, and like it's all goofy and stuff, but like inside all of it, he's like teaching you like the stuff that is like the science behind it, and making it really easy to understand. So it's like
That's awesome.
pretty impressive stuff.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm trying to think
And
of
one more time, what did you say that was called?
It's so his channel is You Suck at Producing.
Oh,
and
right.
The
Okay.
Discord channel is We Suck at Producing, but he has a link on his like some of his YouTube videos and some of his on his website. I am fucking up this. I had a better sketch than this drawing is turning out right now.
Okay, man. The quickest way to like knock out your like momentum is to like call yourself out.
I know, right?
It looks good.
This is why you use reference, folks. Actually, I read some helpful tips and tricks about using reference on Twitter recently too.
Care to share? Or is it
Yeah,
not
so
simple?
like it was about how people like use references, and the one tip that the one guy said was they said like when they draw something, first they draw the drawing how they want it, like they try and get the pose right, but like without looking at the reference. But then they open up the like before they move on to the final drawing, when they have the sketch, that's when they take the reference out, because like if you start off looking at the reference, sometimes you'll find yourself like drawing a very rigid, stiff pose because you're trying to like copy the reference essentially. But if you start out doing loosey-goosey, like how you would normally draw it anyways, and then you like modify so that it fits the reference properly, they said that it tends to make the drawing feel more loose and like
Still more your own.
confident. Yeah, it's more your own thing instead of like you trying to like copy a picture, which can lead to things looking very stiff. And somebody else, they said, what did they say? It was really kind of like it kind of like leapfrogged off that advice. But yeah, like, you know, if you try and draw something first, and then you try and make the reference fit afterwards, or you know, if you try and like fix it just using the reference as your help, as your tool, that can really like make your drawing feel just a lot more lively and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the other, like it was something about also keeping the drawing feeling like very loosey-goosey and sort of like.
I use so many references in my work. Not so much on the show. Sometimes on the show. It depends. A lot of times in the rock, paper, pencil, where we're doing something specific, that's where I look up references. A lot of times in this stuff, I don't know what the drawing's going to be until it's done, so it's a little more loosey-goosey. But I use references on everything.
Yeah, it's generally a good idea to
for
use
sure.
reference.
I feel like there's some weird like thing when you're like a noob that you think it's some kind of cheating, but you're wrong.
Yep.
You're very wrong.
Yeah, I totally thought that as a kid. I was like, if I'd in high school not had the mindset that using reference was cheating, I would probably be a way better drawer than I am right now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, it's funny, like, art has been, like, my main interest since I was, like, pretty much, like, a toddler. But, like, in high school, I could have, like, really honed it in, but I was still, my whole high school experience was me trying to, like, it was, like, a small high school, not a lot to offer there, so it was, like, basically make the experience for me was how can I have the most fun with my friends with doing the least amount of work. So it was just like
Right.
it was like crafting my schedule each year to be like the most like blow offy classes and like
Oh, same.
and even like the art classes, even though I was like very interested, I didn't put a lot of effort into the stuff there. I was just kind of like breezing through. So yeah, I could have definitely used that time more.
When you had art
effectively.
classes in high school, what sort of lessons did your teacher teach?
It was a little bit all over the place. I think they were just trying to teach a wide swath of mediums to kind of like, I think for people, especially in a high school, especially in like a Midwest like kind of excuse
Like
my
how
language,
big
if
was your
just
graduating class? Just to
like
completely box you.
85, 90 kids.
Okay, that's
It's tiny.
I want to say my graduating, that is tiny. I want to say my graduating class was like 200
Mhm.
people, but
Mhm.
like, you know,
Let's
like,
say that's a little
when I
more
talk-
like average, more like
Yeah, when I hear people say like, oh, like when I hear people say like, oh, I had a big graduating class, I'm like, oh, like how many? Like 400? They're like, no, 2,000. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Like we knew every kid in our
Oh,
grade.
yeah,
You
I-
probably knew every
everybody-
kid in your school.
oh definitely. I knew every grade, yeah, every kid in the school.
Yeah.
Because you know it's like about 400 kids, give or take.
Yeah, that's not too hard to
No,
get to know
it's
those
not.
people
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, I didn't have anything else to say.
No, I was just gonna say that like my high school teacher, well, there was some weird scandalous stuff with them recently. I won't get into that because I don't feel like that's
There always
appropriate for the
is,
show.
right?
But because it's all hearsay what I've heard. But it came from a trustworthy source, frequent friend of the show. But anyways, my high school teacher was art teacher, and he was actually also my elementary school art teacher. And then like by the time I was in high school, he had moved over to the high school. But he was an abstract expressionist.
Oh, cool.
So he really focused on just feel it, you know? Just, feel it. And like there's nothing wrong with that. Like honestly, I do think
there's something to be learned from that, I think.
there is. Like when I, not to get off topic for my own story, but I was talking to Austin not too long ago about the exact thing we're talking about, where I'm like, if I had used reference in high school, I would be a better drawer. And Austin had a pretty cool thing to say about that. He said that, what we focused on, you and I probably, instead of like focusing on like technical skill, was like the creativity aspect of it. Like we were trying to draw like some wild shit, I'm sure. So we probably honed our creative mind, but not so much our technical drawing side. But I think there is some value in learning those.
Oh
skills.
yeah, I think it all helps, in different ways. But if it's like, obviously anybody who's like mastered a craft, not to say that I've mastered art yet, but like you can look back at the whole thing and being like, wow, I could have gotten to this destination much quicker if I knew what I knew now, which is like the whole mentor kind of
That's what
philosophy.
that whole song is about.
Which song?
The one from Rushmore at the end.
Oh.
I wish I knew
What I know now. When I was
when I was
young.
younger.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, you would get to your destination a lot quicker, which is why people have mentors and stuff like that, because you kind of have someone to give you the look. Especially in
God, I'd love to have a mentor.
Yeah, that'd be great. Especially in like weird crafts like this, where there's no trajectory that's like known to everybody. It's just like
there's no like right.
It's like,
answer
good luck.
or anything.
you kind of go out there and you're like, I know nothing, and my college taught me nothing about business, even though that's most of the job.
Yeah.
Let's go.
My college had like a session on it.
We had one class, but it was, it should be a bigger part of it, I think, than,
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
and here's the, you know how you have to take, like, 30 classes? Here's one that will teach you the most important aspect. And it's just like, make sure your website's good. Email people, bother people Send them a lot of your art.
Postcards.
Yeah, which in my defense, or not in my defense, but like in their defense, I have not done. So
yeah, me neither. I need to make more postcards.
So
but I'm also trying to get my portfolio where I feel it's adequate.
Yeah. But yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think that there should be more of a focus on that in art schools. I feel like that's half the shtick, if not more than half. Like you can, if you know how to market yourself, you don't even have to be that good of an artist if you're really good at selling yourself.
It's true.
But yeah,
So my high school art teacher, he was focused more on like the just feel it, like draw what you feel. So like I appreciated that, but also like that also meant like when he did do a class where he set a bunch of props up in the center, and was like, draw it, and I was like, this is boring. I'm gonna draw superheroes or whatever, and like he never, I feel like, adequately explained why we were doing that lesson, even though that's like a really important lesson. I feel like I never felt like I got, and I also like, I mean, shit, I was like in high school, I straight up was just like, someone could explain some shit to me like in the most concise, clear detail, and I'd probably still be like, I don't fucking get it. I don't want to draw superheroes.
But you could say, from the teaching standpoint, I think explaining why something's important to learn is just as important as the lesson. So if somebody doesn't adequately like explain to you, like, here's why this will help, then I feel like you're already, like, a lot of people are going to be like tune out if they're like, I don't think this is important. And it's like the teacher, all they have to do is be like, all right, here's why you should pay attention right now, because this could be big for you. Here's why. I think that's a part of it.
I think so, because I do remember a teacher explaining why Romeo and Juliet's such a fucked up story, and it's still pretty solid. Like, she still, I think, gave a pretty solid analysis of like why Romeo and Juliet is, the story that it is.
I
guess I wasn't a complete brick wall.
Yeah, I can think of a lot of experiences with teachers where they explain to me, like, in fact, I don't know, maybe not have had this complete revelation until right this moment, but like, a lot of the things that stick with me are the teachers have explained previous to teaching it to you why it's useful information. And then you're like, oh shit, that makes sense, yeah. And then you kind of focus in because you're like, all right, I see how this will help me, or why it's worth learning.
Yeah, absolutely. That kind of goes back to the thing we were talking about earlier, where it's, teaching is a skill.
Like, definitely.
You could be like the fucking top astrophysicist in the world, but if you can't relay that information to the students in a concise and like,
if you don't know how to pass that information along, then it's not useful to anybody but you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still trying to think of what that other piece of advice somebody told me was. Or somebody wrote on Twitter was. It was really good stuff. I had it in my head. I had to finish my one story, and then I forgot it.
It's funny, one of I think my best art teachers I've ever had was, before I even got to art school, it was at the community college I went to get all my, like, basic stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, like, the way he explained things, I mean, he's not listening to this, so I can kind of talk a little bit of trash while also complimenting him.
Yeah, go for it. I totally kind of outed my one teacher.
Well, no, he's not listening, but I mean, in his defense, I'm sure even if he was listening, he'd be complimented by the part that he was one of my, I think, best art teachers I ever had.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was kind of a psychopath and crazy and all over the place, and all of us were kind of annoyed with him, just with like
if he was a psychopath, I really don't think he cares.
Yeah, exactly. He had some kind of like, I feel like everybody goes to bipolar way too easy. I don't know what, I'm not going to diagnose him, but he had, he was emotionally all over the place from one day to the next. You didn't know what kind of guy you were going to get. But as far as teaching art goes, he really kind of, and it also probably was because he was one of the first art teachers I had, like, but he really kind of like set it in my head of like, look, a product's not, if you're making something for somebody, it's not done, or for like to try to sell to somebody, or to try to sell, or whatever you're doing with it, it's not done until you're happy with it. Never be like, well, I put enough work into this, time to ship it out because I'm tired of looking at it. Like, don't put anything out there that you're not happy with, because if you don't like it, then no one else is going to like it.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, I do have two counterpoints. Not that I think that's bad advice. I think that is very good advice, and I think anyone who's definitely trying to, do a creative pursuit, I think that is very valuable advice because it does speak to holding yourself up to a high standard.
That's what it's all about. I know there's like, once you get more, your shit more, you can obviously know when to step away from a project and stuff. Yeah. But it's about standards, not to cut you off. It's
definitely about standards. Funny story though, Dante, who wrote Dante's Inferno, I believe this is him. When he wrote Dante's Inferno, he never published it. So the one day he like gave it to his friend, and he was just like, "Can you do me a favor and can you burn this?" And his friend was like, "All right." And then like his friend gets home and his friend just reads it, and then he's just like, "This motherfucker wanted me to burn this shit? It's crazy. This is amazing."
He burned it onto several CDRs and shipped it out to all the publishers.
He sold it to some hackers. The hackers were like, "I'm in," and then they hacked the world. All that stuff.
The same teacher, the class I took was it was kind of a required art class,
but it was like 3D kind of art. So like a lot of the work was, you had to work like with physical. You had to like make stuff. Like it was kind of like a sculpture class, honestly. Yeah. But you could use whatever materials. But I learned a lot because like on the same. This also came from him being kind of like
a
psycho, but like. You would spend like all like week or weekend or whatever working on this project or longer. You come in and he's like, "Wow, this is great. This is beautiful. Now make like 4 more of them." And you're just like, "What?" And like you just like everything had to be bigger. But like when you got done, you put in all this shit ton of work, but you had like this awesome like display when you were finally done. And it was way bigger than anybody would have done on their own without being like forced.
Pushed. Yeah.
And so he kind of like taught that whole like. Kind of pushed everybody out of what they would do on their own. I think literally everybody was just like did like 3 times the amount they would have on their own, which is it was kind of a I don't know. It worked for me. I don't know about everybody else, and even in the end, I'm kind of like that guy is kind of nuts, but I learned a lot. I feel like at least from like a work ethic standpoint as an artist.
Yeah. Oh, hey, can you do me a favor real quick? Can you make me an operator?
So sorry about that.
Oh, it's alright. It's kind of, I wish this program...
I normally do it every time now. I just forgot because the thing wasn't working right away.
Oh, yeah. It's okay. I mean, does this program remember? Because I feel like it doesn't.
There's a way to make profiles, but I can never get it to work.
Ah, shit.
See if it works now.
But, oh, yeah, perfect. Thank you. Cool. I just wanted to use a multiply layer so I could draw a shadow.
But, yeah, so I don't know. That was a big, and it was also probably partially because I was still, like, kind of a slacker at that point. So I kind of needed that, like, wake up of, like, hey, keep pushing things. Don't just be like, I'm tired. Don't ever let the reason you're done with a project be, I don't feel like it doing more. It should always be, for, like, the success of the thing you're working on. That's when you stop.
Yeah, absolutely. I did remember the other advice I had read, and I think it's also very good advice. And it's that something doesn't need to be 100% accurate when you draw it. It just needs to look accurate enough to fool everybody else.
Yeah.
Which is also helpful advice, because I've done that a few times where I've been like, this angle makes no fucking sense, but it looks so cool, I'm gonna roll with it.
Well, that's, in the end, art is just about being visually, like, pleasant to the eye.
Yeah. Art is telling the best lie.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people will shit on, like, abstract art who don't understand. Not to be like, oh, I don't understand more than you, but what I'm saying is, like,
yeah.
People will shit on something just because it looks easy, but it's like, but does it look cool? And they're like, well yeah. It's like, well, that's the whole point. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you or I could do it. They did it first, so they get the credit.
Yep. And that's our art talk for the day, folks. If you
we shutting it down.
It's actually nice to talk about the process while we're doing it. You know, we don't actually do that too much on this show.
No, I mean, we have in the past, but it doesn't have to be every episode.
Oh yeah, no, we don't got a pigeonhole ourselves.
But
speaking of pigeonholes, man, fucking love. Nah, actually, I just realized.
I love place. Oh, okay.
he's like, I don't want to pigeonhole you. And the dude's like, nah, dude, I'll do pigeons, man. I'll blast some pigeons. I'll scoop the coop. I'll do the poop or whatever. He just like says a bunch of crazy shit about basically having sex or dousing pigeons in like semen and shit like that. It's a fun show. That's Jason Mantzoukas' character on that show.
Oh, what was his name? Rafi.
Rafi, yeah.
I used to watch
El
it a lot.
Cañado.
I still love the. I don't remember the context, but the creation of Rafi. It's like an episode where he's like the craziest character in the whole show. He's just like constantly like doing like, the most horrible, dirty stuff.
Yeah, he's Nick Kroll's wife's brother.
And it's like an episode where he's like a well-adjusted human and like he's hanging out with his wife and something. I think Seth Rogen also is like he's like Dirty Randy, and like he's also a horrible character, and like he somehow inadvertently kills Rafi's wife and turns him into a psycho.
On scaffolding, and then he falls off and lands on the wife, I think.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know, it's hilarious.
It's so great.
It's like their origin story because they hang out
breaking
together.
Out of the insane asylum is probably doesn't, probably not the most politically correct, but it is a very funny arc.
Yeah, that show's never been.
No, definitely not. That show is not about being politically correct.
It's a good show. It's fun.
It's a good show. It's a fun show for sure.
I
still need to finish the last season of that show, actually.
I don't know if I have. I think I have, but I don't remember it.
It kind of drops off. Season 1 is great. Season 2, I think, might be the best. Possibly Season 3. I think Season 2 is the best. But Season 3 is pretty solid, and then after that, the show just kind of it's never quite captures that same glory.
Yeah, there was a part where I lost momentum. I'm not sure if I made it to the end or not, but either way, the stuff that's good is worth your time.
Yeah.
And I'll probably rewatch that again at some point.
What was that?
I said I'd probably rewatch that again at some point.
Yeah, I've been meaning to at least finish. I do kind of want to start over, but I do need to finish that series over. Or, you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So we're drawing some samurais.
True. You're not wrong about that.
Do you have anything you want to say about samurais?
I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima. Is that what you were hinting at?
Yeah, I guess I was trying to tee that up, but we did talk about that a little bit last week.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it still so far. I don't think it's the most like the open world RPG. I think is what your brother called it, which I think is pretty accurate. It's a pretty common game. It almost feels there's so many of them that they kind of feel like connect the dots. Like here's what you have to add to the game, and then you have a game.
Yeah.
But that aside, it's a very fun one. I mean, there's a lot of those that I like. I mean, you could argue that some really amazing games are those like Red Dead 2 or like Witcher 3. They're all kind of that same game. Some people do it really good. This one,
I'm a fan of that genre, to be honest.
I do too. They're just great, like time suck. Like
yeah,
they're satisfying. They're like good for like. I hate using the reason power fantasy because it's not why I play games, but I do like the climb to the top where you start and you're like enemies are hard and then by the end you're just like cleaning them up.
Yeah.
Mad Max was one of those.
3, I think.
It makes you feel like Mad Max was one of those. It makes you feel like your time is like a measurable thing. Because by the end you're like, okay, I put in all this time, but now I'm like unstoppable, so it feels cool.
Yeah, I hear Dishonored does this very well, but I like when those games do grant you more and more power, but the enemies are also not necessarily getting stronger to the point, like, you know, in Skyrim, or I think it's more so in Oblivion, like, as you level up, the enemies level up with you, so it's kind of like, what's the fucking point? But,
yeah.
I do enjoy the games when, like, they don't necessarily make the enemies stronger, but they vary like what your techniques are supposed to be, so that you have like you get like all these new powers, you have like all this strength. Now you have to like start utilizing them in like unique and different ways in order to like take out these new guys that have like this new special or whatever the hell that makes them different. I hear Dishonored does that very well. That's a game I've been meaning to. Really
I just finished the first Dishonored, and I have the second one I bought before I had ever played the first.
And I'll probably get around to that sometime. But I just finished Dishonored 1 like probably right at the beginning of quarantine.
Nice.
It was fun. Holds up. I mean, it's an older game now.
Yeah, it is older, I guess. It probably came out, what, Xbox 360 launch title? Something like that?
I don't know when it came out, but it's, I mean, the sequel's getting old at this point, so that says something.
Yeah. But people still talk about them like they're very good games, apparently. So
Yeah.
I've been meaning to check them out.
First one was 2012, so close to 10 years now.
Yeah, Xbox, I would say a little bit
About
after the
8
Xbox
years.
360. Maybe closer to...
Yeah, I don't know which console was
Yeah, those are...
Was popping off at that time. I don't remember.
Yeah, but Ghost of Tsushima is fun so far. I really like it. I like games that kind of.
Yeah, I'm just a big fan of, like, that world genre.
Yeah, me too. I feel like it's a really cool genre that a lot of people love, but there's not a lot of representation of it in video games, which is surprising. I have never played Shadows Die Twice or Sekiro or whatever it's called. It's like a samurai version of Dark Souls.
Sekiro. Yeah, it's so I have some friends who have played it, and it's a little bit closer to Ghost of Tsushima than it is Dark Souls from right here because focus less on like blocking. Like Dark Souls is like bring a shield or a big sword, buddy, because you got dudes who are gonna be throwing shit at you, and you can't unless you know what's gonna happen. You're gonna have to block. But Ghost of Tsushima and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, I believe both those games focus more on parrying. I've seen folks compare Sekiro with an action game because like they use this one boss fight as an example, like this boss who like dart left, dart right, and then make a noise and then attack you, and that's when you're supposed to do like all cues on how to like sort of survive these enemies, so it becomes almost like a they just like a music game almost. It's a so because you're not like, oh, what is this program trying to do with my? But anyway, so yeah, I've heard like people describe it as that thing where it's almost like playing like fucking Elite Beat Agents or that. But in a cool way, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I haven't played that one. I haven't really played any of the kind of Dark Soul type games. Much. I started getting to Dark Souls and then.
I know, and
then my game got corrupt and it hurt my soul, so I didn't go back.
Oh.
That should.
I will.
Your Dark Soul.
Will eventually. Yeah.
But yeah. If you ever want to dip back into the games, if I got my computer fixed up, I'd be happy to praise the sun.
It's kind of the bonus of like games being. We've reached the level of like 3D games where you pretty much. It's not like trying to go back like when they're still figuring it out, like PlayStation 1. Like that's like a struggle to play those games. But like anything like once they've kind of got like 3D space in a video game figured out, you can pretty much play them forever. You can go back in 100 years from now and it'll be functional. In the same way that you can play like Super Nintendo games now and they still feel right because they got the 2D platformer thing down.
Yeah.
You know, once they get the technology down to a place where it's not like gonna make you throw up on the carpet, it can pretty much be played forever. And so I'm always a lot of these games I'm like I'll get around to them eventually.
What were you gonna say?
I don't know. You just cut in.
You're kind of cutting out too. I don't know who it is, me or you, but one of us is having issues.
Oh boy, what timing. But I was gonna say that you're talking about like how once the gameplay like hits a certain point, games do become a little bit more replayable, and I've been experiencing that firsthand because I don't know if you saw, but the guys who made Lethal League, have you ever played Lethal League?
No.
That's a hard name to say for that game. Lethal League. What it is it's kind of like a fighting game, except it's also Pong.
That's cool.
But it's super cool. It works really well, and like the visuals and like the characters are like super cool, and like the soundtrack is fucking phenomenal. But like everything about it is like just dripping with style and cool shit. And
Ooh, I like that.
So those guys just announced, the guys who made Lethal League, they did like an HD remaster of Lethal League, and then I guess they used like the funds from all that because like the game's been fairly successful. They used the funds from, or you know, I don't know how they did their finances, but anyways, they were successful enough that they basically just recently announced they're doing like a spiritual sequel to Jet Set Radio.
Oh, okay, so I remember you mentioned that last show, but I didn't realize they were the same people who made Lethal League.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's called Bomb Crush Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
They got the same composer.
I saw the trailer with the music. It was awesome.
That fucking song has been driving me nuts. I've been trying to recreate it.
I saw you talking to the composer on Twitter.
He made a great joke. He said this. He I guess everyone's been like going nuts over the song, understandably, because it's pretty fucking phenomenal. It's like almost dubstep, new funk, disco stuff. I'm a huge fan of the way it sounds. And the guy said, for people asking what this genre of music is, his name's Hideki Nakanuma. So he's like, for people asking what the genre of music is, it's called Naganuma Jack Swing, which I think is fucking a great joke.
If you ever like nail some kind of genre that doesn't really exist, you should always name it after yourself.
100%. I mean, that's why New Jack Swing, because it started with a Janet Jackson album, so they call it New Jack Swing because Janet Jackson basically invented it.
That's pretty cool. What layer is that background on?
Which one? The flowers are on BG1.
The sky. I was just gonna erase the I.
Oh, oopsie. Let me see. Where? Oh, I think I put it on layer 0. Yeah. Or layer 1, I'm sorry. What did I do?
Oh god, now he just blew a blood vessel.
Oh my god, it's that girl from...
That might happen if you get your head cut off. Your eyes might turn red.
From Kill Bill.
That actually doesn't look bad.
Well, I'm gonna give it the effect that happens to that girl with the spiky ball in Kill Bill.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
It is a great movie. But, so I'm super pumped about Bomb Crush Cyberpunk. So just because I was so pumped about it, I've never actually, I don't know why I'm pumped about it, because I've never actually played a Jet Set Radio.
I thought you had been playing it recently.
I tried. So here's the thing. I think I explained this to you on Discord, but I'm gonna explain it to
I don't seem to recall.
So Jet Set Radio came out for the Dreamcast, and I gotta write the DrawBomb title.
I was just about to do it myself, but I was looking up like a kind of a font that might go with this to like reference.
I'm not sure. I feel like anytime you see like those fonts that are like supposed to be sort
just
of like
use Papyrus.
Let's just use Papyrus. But Jet Set Radio came out for the Dreamcast. Honestly, white fonts would be better.
I want to make it cool because I kind of like that there's hardly any... Maybe, can you make it like...
I can layer it.
Maybe like erase everything that's in front of your character so it looks like it's behind him or something. I don't know, I just like how cool this looks without any type on it, but I still want to put the...
It is a pretty cool title drawing we've done.
Yeah, it feels very dramatic.
I've been kind of fucking with my colors in a specific way. I gotta show you this. I think I already showed you, but I gotta show. I'm gonna post it into the DrawBomb when I get the chance. But I did a sketch for the cover for this graphic novel I've been writing, and it looks. I'm actually pretty proud of how it came out. So I tried. But before we get to that, I've been trying to play Jet Set Radio. Jet Set Radio came out for the Dreamcast. Then they did an HD remaster for the Xbox, the original Xbox, called Jet Set Radio Future, which is considered the best of the series of the two that there are that exist. So it's only available on the original Xbox though. So Jet Set Radio is available on Steam, and I gotta tell you what, that game controls
36 by the way.
Dog shit. 36. Thank you. I was just.
Yeah, it gets. That's what I called it. When we say draw, you say bomb, please.
Nice.
Look,
I did find out who gave us the $75, by the way.
I've written 36 of these. Cut me a break. Who's that? Or you don't have to. You don't have to say them out loud. Okay, you don't have to. Yeah, you can tell me later if you want to. We also 15 hours ago had Coppercat follow us. I don't know if that's somebody you know.
Oh.
I don't know who that is, but we got new follower when we're off the air. Every once in a while we get new followers during the week when we're gone. And I can see
really
that.
Cut together more highlights reels. That would probably help us out.
I should also announce the people that followed us during the week from now on, because there's always a lot of times there's one or two here or there.
Yeah. And if they got a cool username, we could always try and draw whatever we think they're using.
Oh yeah, Coppercat. It's a pretty cool one. All right, I'm gonna save this one.
Looks good.
Mm-hmm. The last two have been great, and actually last several, I think actually.
Yeah, I see you've been posting them up on.
Yeah. I've been trying to be good about it. I'm gonna run out soon. I only got another probably 5 days or so worth of stuff.
Gotcha.
The rock paper pencils might last a little bit longer because I try not to do them every day.
Yeah, that's fair because we gotta try and get some.
Want to be able to get some votes and not just overload people.
Yeah. But yeah, Jet Set Radio Control's not great. So
yeah. Well, Dreamcast is still kind of back there where 3D was still kind of getting figured out.
Yeah, still very new.
And that's the thing. It's like you could go back and you're like, I love PlayStation 1. It's like a big part of my childhood. I'll try to play some Jet Moto, and then you're like, oh god, this is impossible. I can't do this.
It's like when I tried to show you Silent Hill 2, and
that one wasn't too bad, but it's still it's on the cusp
of
getting figured out. But it's still playable. There's certain games where you just you want to puke, or you're just you get lost because you're where am I supposed to be going? This all looks like a smeared mess.
I'm supposed to hold R2 down to see where I'm going.
I remember playing CTR Crash Team Racing with my brother and my dad, and me and my brother played it so much that we were good, but my dad was just where is the track even? What am I supposed to use? He was just so pissed. It's where am I supposed to be going? This is bullshit. Yeah, and now looking back, I understand, but at the time, I'm well, I do this all day long, every day, so I don't understand what the problem is for you. It's easy.
You have the power of imagination.
All right, clear all this.
All right, before we start working on some next drawings, I'm just gonna post that sketch cover I did real quick.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I don't know how the delete button works sometimes.
I just use Control X. I do Control A to select all, and I do Control X. It just seems to work better.
Thanks. Interesting. Good to know.
I just used to Photoshop, I guess. So.
Yeah, I guess so. But
all these hotkeys burnt into my brain.
But let me see here. I'm gonna pull up this artwork I did. Yeah, so I'm writing this graphic novel. It's about a cult that rises up in a dystopian future to kill all the CEOs. I'm gonna copy and paste it. One more time. I made this mostly because I've been fucking around with the perspective ruler in Clip Studio Paint. I gotta tell you, man, I fucking love that thing. I'm glad I learned.
It looks awesome.
Oh shit!
One of these days, you're gonna sway me, and I'll finally come to the Clip Studio Paint.
I saw this tutorial today for Clip Studio Paint. Blew my goddamn mind. This is the cover right over here.
Yeah, I saw that. I like it. I love the type.
Thank you. I appreciate. Yeah, I fucking spent so long on making that logo look right.
Did you use any certain brushes, or did you just do it kind of organically and then double it and make a duplicate shadow?
I did. So I did use a brush because first of all, again, not to suck that program's.
It's all right. You love it.
Not to fillet it.
I do love it. It's all right to talk up something you love.
They have an online aspect to it where you can download. People upload brushes that you can just download to use.
Right.
For free. So I can actually point them out. Oh Christ! I just deleted it. Now I gotta fucking post it again. So the clouds. That's a brush. The blood spatters are another brush. Now originally the blood spatter brush was just droplets, but I was this is a blood splatter.
Oh shit!
Right
dude, I I know you were just talking about this, and I've seen you use it in the past, but I didn't even notice all the perspective work in the background, like, because I was focused on, like, the figure. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
That's such a cool
That
tool.
thing is.
If
Dude,
anything
it
is
is.
gonna, if anything has swayed me so far to come to the dark side, that's it. That's awesome.
Oh man, and like it took me so long to figure. Like actually, so when people have tried to teach me perspective, I've had a hard time with it.
Okay.
I don't know why.
I feel like I can
But
do
I have.
perspective, but it takes effort.
Yeah. So like when people are like draw a vanishing point, I get hung up on a lot of shit. So like people are like draw the vanishing point, and I'm just like, how do you know where the vanishing point is? And they're just like, well, it's where your eye sees like you can figure out where a horizon is, just do it. And I'm just like, but what if it's not accurate? So that fucks me up. And then like the vanishing points, I'm always just like, but where am I actually supposed to put these? So like with the perspective ruler, I can like just fuck with it, and like it's so much more helpful. And like I'm learning not only how to actually draw perspective, like just as a person, like if I weren't using the program, but also, I mean, it snaps the paint brush to like the thing. It's so nice.
Clip Studio
Oh,
Paint,
it's
if
good
you want to
shit.
sponsor us, feel free.
Please.
Also, we have
Same
somebody in the
with
chat.
DrawBomb.
Vinny Short Kid says hi.
Hi.
Hi, Vinny Short Kid.
Hi, Vinny Short Kid.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining in.
Try out Clip Studio Paint soon.
Yeah, it's normally $200, and it generally goes on sale twice a year for $100, and it's a fucking steal because not only does it do drawing, you can download brushes for free.
I need to
models
start using
and
it.
perspective rulers. I saw this.
I'm just resistant to change.
tutorial. What was that?
I'm resistant to change, but I know I'm gonna love it once I finally do it. I just haven't done it yet.
I can help you out. I can guide you along the way.
You can ease the pain.
I can.
Vinny Short Kid says, "Can you say draw? Because I want to say bomb. Draw.
Draw.
If he says bomb, we won't know. It's probably
Or like a couple times.
they're in their like
I said, draw.
office. Oh
Ah!
yeah, bomb.
There we go.
Yay!
Perfect.
It worked.
I love it. I love this audience participation.
Boy, that was a fun experience. If you want more of that, follow us, and you can experience this every week. This
That was
sense
a
of
thrill.
community, thrilling for all of us. And there it is. Vinny Short Kid is our new best friend. Thanks for following.
Hey,
Thanks
thank
for
you so
succumbing to
much.
the peer pressure. Welcome to the winning team.
Thanks for doing the audience participation
Yeah,
voluntarily.
it's great.
You normally have to like do them at gunpoint.
Yeah, normally I have to force people.
But the tutorial I saw on Twitter today that the Clip Studio account posted blew my fucking mind. I didn't know you could do this with the program.
Well,
But they said like, so in Clip Studio Paint, I don't know if who's watching this now or in the future on our YouTube channel, which you can go to at the bottom link. I don't know if you've ever used Macromedia Flash, or Adobe Flash.
I mean, I don't know why I make that noise. I had some
It
fond
exists.
memories. It's kind of like
We made some good stuff.
it's like looking back at high school. You're like, well, that was partially fun, but you also cringe a lot when you think about it.
Yeah, I mean that program had its rough patches that they never fixed. Like the fact that multiple scenes, like if you had more than one scene, it would eventually like the audio would get out of sync. Which,
Yeah.
holy shit, that frustrated me to no end.
Hopefully, whatever Animate or whatever the new program is better. I don't know. I haven't played with it at all.
Well, I'm interested to check out Clip Studio Paint's animations.
It's probably amazing because everything they make is fantastic. The suite of features offered by Clip Studio Paint. Sign up today.
$200 normally. $100.
We're just trying to get a sponsorship here. That's what's happening.
Please, somebody pay me money. I don't have a job.
They're watching every episode. They're just waiting for me to jump on before they agree.
Yeah, they're just waiting for you to give the ringing endorsement. But so Macromedia Flash, Adobe Flash, whatever you want to call it, it's a vector program, so you could zoom in infinity times, and the lines would be like the same fidelity as if you normally would, like if you were just like zoomed out 100%. Whereas generally programs are art programs like Photoshop are raster programs, which means it's like pre-rendered, or I don't know how to describe it exactly aside from like it's set in stone. Like once Once you put it down, those are pixels on a canvas. They're hard to change. You can't zoom in without it getting pixelated. That's a raster versus a vector. But so Clip Studio Paint actually allows you to work both vector and raster. And when you work vector in Clip Studio Paint, which I actually haven't done too much because I'm just so used to working raster after years and years of Photoshop, but you can do all the same line shit that you can do in like Flash and vector. Like you can like manipulate the line and bend it if you don't like where it's at. It's like a number of things that are like super helpful.
That's pretty that convinces me too, because I don't like to use Illustrator.
Oh yeah, it's so nice. It works
people oftentimes want work that should be vector, and I'm like, I'll just draw it at like 20 feet in Photoshop. I'll make a 20-foot long by 20-foot long file so that you can size it up to whatever you want, and it won't be a vector, and it will be
no problem.
It'll be 10 gigabytes when I send it to you. Sorry, enjoy.
Yeah, it's so much space on my hard drive is taken up by like ginormous like building size drawings. But so Clip Studio Paint just recently released a video today. They have a tool in it apparently that I did not know existed, where you can actually, like, say I did this line right here, but like say I wanted it to be thicker on the one end, where I'd be like, Clip Studio Paint in both raster and vector line art, they have a tool where you just draw it over the line, and it will either thin up or thicken up the line. Raster and vector, and this shit is blowing my fucking mind.
Wow. Alright. Maybe I'll switch over one of these days. Maybe it's time.
It's pretty great. Actually, I also found like a tool, I think I already linked it to it, where you can change your Photoshop brushes too.
Penny Short Kid says, your drawing looks like a show. I just don't know what it's called. Same. I also don't know what it's called. Maybe it's weird perspective, folks. Yeah, Drunk Santa and his son from low angles.
Yeah.
Instead of coloring, I like to just write what the things are, like pants.
We're doing political comics again.
I feel like we've played that one out.
We're gonna angle a lot. But yeah, Clip Studio Paint's fucking incredible.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. So yeah, it's pretty good stuff. I feel like I started this conversation about something else, and then I completely got.
No, we were talking about the perspective thing.
Oh, okay. So
Hey,
yeah,
Ian. When we say draw, they say bomb. Draw.
Then we'll give it like 5 seconds for them to respond.
Yeah, because there's a delay,
say
and then in like 10 minutes they'll say bomb.
Yeah, you can be like.
It's gonna be great. Yeah, it's just gotta wait. You gotta be patient. You can't expect it to happen right away. Just gotta wait. Bomb! There it is! Yay!
Yeah, that's great. Now I'm just waiting for like the feed to catch up.
Yeah.
Oh wait, the feed's actually going at the same. There we go.
I was gonna say you actually get it at the same time that I did. I don't know how. So I mean, I don't know what you're watching.
I got it in the chat, but the feed like in the video.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's like
streaming is a strange business.
It is. What the heck? Like,
what the frickity?
What are we doing? Like, we have satellites, and we got all sorts of. You got cell phones in your pocket that are just can do anything but streaming.
We got space junk.
Yeah.
I don't know what else we got.
I think we covered everything. I think that's all of it.
Yeah.
Cell phones in your pocket. Space junk. That's about it.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So what should we draw?
I wrote. Did you see the Rick and Morty animation that
the little like thing of the coming season?
Well, that too, but they got the guy who directed. I think it's called Tower of Heaven. He's like an anime.
The anime one.
Yeah.
It's not the first one. Did you see the samurai one?
Oh yeah, that one's so fucking cool.
Awesome. Where like Morty was like the king, and like he brings the head, and the head like shoots like beams out of its eyes, and they all melt. That was awesome. I love that. They've been doing that a lot, which I just like. I don't know how they got all these animators on board, but it's awesome.
I love it. I love that they basically are running with the fact like anything is possible. So like we'll also get anybody to just make shit.
Yeah, and it can all be canon. It's kind of like a fun like exercise in animation that anybody can make anything, and we'll be like, yeah, that probably exists somewhere in the universe.
Yeah. Hey, Adult
it's
Swim.
cool.
To make a Rick and Morty animation, I got a great one. So get this. Morty farts a wait, no, they already did that.
I honestly, I guarantee if you put the time in to make a really, really like well-crafted Rick and Morty animation, I bet you would get posted somewhere on their social media.
Yeah.
Just because
I would.
They eat it up. They have so much, and if it was like a short, I bet you they would use it.
Yeah.
If it was good enough,
Yeah, and probably get you some good cred. But yeah, that was a pretty cool animation. Big fan of that one. It was kind of weird because like it makes sense by the end of the cartoon, but in it, Rick acts strangely wholesome and like loving to Morty.
I feel like I only got like a little clip of it. I don't know if I saw the whole thing.
Oh, it was like a whole 10-minute short.
Oh, maybe I didn't see the whole thing. The one I saw, I feel like, I don't know, maybe it got cut short or something. I'll have to check it out again after the show. You want to wipe this and draw something better? Not to like shit on our drawings. I'm just saying, like, I feel like it doesn't feel as focused as usual, if that makes sense. Not to.
Let's start over. Well, you've been playing Carrion, right?
Yes.
I started playing that yesterday night because I've been having this issue where I just can't fucking sleep till it hits like 4 a.m. and I've been trying to fix it.
Well, dude, I know you keep trying to fight it, but until you do, play video games with me because I'm always up till 4 a.m. And I'm like, hey man, let's play something. And you're like, I need to sleep like a regular person. I'm like, pshaw, you'll come back. They always come back. They always come back.
So I was like up at like, and I actually did see you online, and I was just like, I don't want to bother him. I also just, I'm trying to like tire myself out to go to sleep.
I understand. And I know if sometimes it wakes you up to play. I'm a bad influence because it's my schedule right now.
I know, if only we had both worked in restaurants at the same time.
Yeah. We were honestly like missed each other by like a few years in that window.
Yeah, we really did. It's like we switched schedules.
Yeah.
Almost at the same time. But
that's alright. We're still like getting to hang out and play stuff more now than we ever have in like since high school years.
Absolutely true. So it's good. It's a good thing. And who knows if we can ever get that sponsorship from Clip Studio Paint.
Any day now.
Any day.
I check my email every day.
Or DrawPile, one or the other. I don't think DrawPile has since it's a free program, I don't think they have the money to.
Vinny Shortkid says it looks like regular show, which
I can see that. I love that.
Show.
They actually, what is his name?
JG Quintel?
He's a new show on HBO that I haven't watched yet.
I've been meaning to check it out. It looks fun.
But I want to check it out. I love regular show, and it'd be cool to see something where he has like the freedom of HBO.
Yeah, I saw a clip where they have Weird Al on, and it's pretty funny because he gets like killed by a bear. But like,
maybe I'll watch that tonight.
He like, what was that?
I said maybe I'll watch it tonight. Check it out.
Yeah. He like steps out of some bushes and he's like, "Hey guys," and it's like definitely voiced by actual Weird Al, and they're like, "Weird Al, the only respectable comedy musician." It's good stuff. I enjoyed it.
That's funny.
I like regular show. It's good stuff.
Me too. I'm a big fan. When regular show and Adventure Time both came out at like around the same time, I was like, oh shit, maybe Cartoon Network's gonna like put out good stuff again, like when I was a kid. And honestly, I am not disappointed with. Yeah, like Cartoon Network. Honestly, Nickelodeon's put out some bangers. Disney's putting out some good stuff. It's interesting seeing like animation almost having like another like.
Animation is having like a renaissance right now. Like, if you still feel like it's not as good as when you were a kid in the '90s, then I think you're just blinded by nostalgia because shit's good right now. There's a lot of stuff from like all different types, and there's like adult animation, a lot of it, which was a thing that wasn't really super popular for the longest time because I think people thought if it's animation, it can't be taken seriously.
Right. There was a lot of well, it's weird. It's like a weird two-sided coin where it's like either you're an animation and you're kiddie shit, you gotta do shit for kids, or you're an animation but for adults, so you gotta do like Family Guy shit where you gotta like
but you don't
fart on each other.
I mean, you can do whatever you want, and it's cool seeing some of these shows doing both. Like you look at like BoJack Horseman, which is like some of the darkest, most real stuff, and then also some of the silliest, stupid shit. Like you can be both. You you're only set by the boundaries you make for yourself.
Mm-hmm. And there's like so many. Like I actually started watching Gravity Falls with my brother, and when I love
Gravity
we watched
Falls.
like one episode 2 weeks ago.
And it gets good once you get it's a lot of these. Not to cut you off, there's a lot of these.
Yeah, that's right.
Disney, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network shows that. So they start as kind of like kiddie,
one thing,
kind of a little more immature than what they grow into once they get their audience. But like Gravity Falls has that. I think Steven Universe kind of has that. But like these shows that kind of like they have those like B episodes where it's just like, whoa, we get into some silly shenanigans.
Yeah.
But then like once you're like deep in the series, it's like dark and crazy and like the characters dying and like horrible crazy stuff, and it's like the show's awesome. Like anyone could watch this. And Gravity Falls really gets like cool and like occult and like interesting as when you get near the end.
Yeah, I've heard that, and I'm excited to like get to that good stuff, especially since it's like got 3 seasons, so it's not even that much.
Yeah, it goes pretty quick. I recommend it. It's good. Even when it's silly, I think it's still pretty fun. I don't think it's like. I'm not gonna act like I'm some like animation like I like the childish stuff too. So.
Yeah, definitely. I enjoy that. I mean, I like good kiddie stuff. I like. Adult humor doesn't need to be, like...
serious. It could be, stupid.
Goofy. Farting and, like, shitting on themselves or something like that. You can do adult humor. Like, I mean, it's just, like, there are shows that aren't for kids, but, like, are about... I guess what I'm trying to say is that animation is finally kind of, like, being allowed to do whatever they want.
Yeah, it could be, like, the same as, like, any other TV.
Yeah. And I'm appreciating that, and like there's so many good shows out. Like Gumball is like phenomenal.
I know. I've like still like planning on like going through and just like watching all of it. I just haven't done it. I like Clarence a lot. That was a good one.
Clarence is good. Big City Greens is pretty great.
I haven't watched any of that.
From the Creek. There's just a lot of good stuff, and like by a lot of different creators too, which is it's cool to see other people get. Opportunities and stuff. So I'm really happy about a lot of that.
I'm gonna shrink this guy down again just to fit the size of like your scientist.
Okay. Oops.
No, I think it just will help like everything fit together better.
Oh yeah, that's a good move.
But yeah, no, I think animation is like probably. I mean, we may feel like we have the heyday, but I think it might be better now.
This is the heyday now.
Yeah. Because people are finally seeing its value, I think, more so. And then, like, it's good for movies that Disney can rake in a bunch of money, and it doesn't just have to be, like slapstick cartoons on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I mean, it's generally not good for movies for Disney to make a lot of money, but, I mean,
I'm just saying, like, I think
when you say that,
animation, like, when it was, like, what we thought was most popular was, like, that's when you saw it's, like, the biggest budget version of animation was like a Disney movie.
Yeah, absolutely, and like it had to be like a fucking retelling of a fairy tale.
And it was like a Broadway play, like just like there's like all musical numbers and all this shit, and it was like this big event.
Yeah.
And now it can be like a stupid thing on Netflix, and it can be the best thing ever.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see so many people, and you're gonna get this with every sort of genre, but there are so many people who are like. Just obsessed with gatekeeping or trying to be like, hey, like that's not real animation. Like this cartoon I grew up with is real. Like, do you remember like the big hubbub people made over that fucking like spin-off from He-Man where it's about like
or no, it was Thundercats, right? Or no, you're talking about you are talking about the He-Man spin-off. She-Ra,
right? Is that
or is that is She-Ra? Yeah, She-Ra is He-Man.
I've never watched Hercules.
I know we were just before the 80s like
the He-Man and G.I. Joe and Transformers thing. We were born just after that, so we didn't really.
Yeah.
Yeah, She-Ra, but I think the show did well.
No, the show did great, but like
I want to watch it. I haven't watched it yet.
I've heard really good things.
The one artist who kind of like show ran it is somebody that I was following before she was on that. She was doing like graphic novels and stuff.
I went to like a 420 party with one of the animators on that show.
Oh, really?
I think she
That's
remembers
awesome.
me. But she wasn't engaging in any of the drug activities I was, but she was there. She complimented me on a piano song I played when I was really high. I remember that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was good stuff. I mean, it's a cool show. I've heard good things about the show, but I remember when that show first popped out, or like, was first introduced, and like people were just like, "What the fuck, man? It's not He-Man. He-Man's supposed to be where she's a big titty girl.
Man.
She's supposed to give me a boner," and it's just like, fucking let it go, man. It was like 30 years ago.
You don't
Just
own
let
the
people
art.
Make their own shit.
You don't get
People
to
want,
decide what. Yeah.
Or like people who are like, these aren't good animations. Good animations are the ones I was watching, and like I get it. Like I fucking love Dexter's Lab and like all that stuff, and I thought it was great.
It's
but
not
I'm
a
like so
competition.
happy that like kids growing up nowadays have like such great fucking shows to like watch that have like these like really positive messages, or like just have like characters who you might not have seen in like Billy White animation days of like the 80s and 90s and stuff.
No, I
It's
totally
good to
agree.
see like that shit.
I totally agree.
And like, what's the benefit of being like, no? Oh, Vinny Short Kid's leaving. Thanks for watching.
Uh-oh.
Thanks for following.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
If you want to watch in the future, every Monday.
Yeah, every Monday, 8 o'clock p.m. EST. We also put our episodes up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a friend.
Thanks for following.
A confidant.
Are you just quoting Golden Girls at this point?
Yeah, I am.
Alright.
I'm wearing my Golden Girls hat right now.
If we threw a party, invited everyone we knew.
Just for the sake of the hypothetical.
We'd all get COVID.
No, I was still quoting the Golden Girls song. Anyways, no, I don't understand the whole weird, like you said, gatekeeping, but it's like a weird, like, pride thing. I don't know. People who make, I think Access is what you were talking about last week, where people will make their whole identity something like pop culture or whatever. They feel like it's like a front to them if something outdoes what their like nostalgia
Yeah.
was.
And it's like,
And I
no,
just-
it's a good thing that there's more. You don't want kids 100 years from now to still be watching the cartoons you watched when you were a kid?
Right.
No, there should be more new stuff. Because you get to watch it too. It's a win for everybody.
It's a win for everybody. I think those folks who have that attitude, and it's mostly dudes, just because those are the people that were pandered. I think it is like, sort of like they were, a lot of like man children were pandered to in a lot of ways, like back in the day, and like I mean shit, like even in like early 2000s, like I never watched it, but you know that Teen Titans show that was on Cartoon Network.
I never really got
So-
into it either, but it looks good from the stuff I've
I've heard
seen.
good things. People say it's solid. So like that show and Young Justice were like two DC superhero cartoons that were sort of like out at the time about kid superheroes or whatever, and like cool stuff. Never watched them, not really my bag. But Teen Titans Go is hilarious because it's just like a comedy thing without much of the superhero shit.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that's what I was thinking of actually. But I do
okay.
know what you're talking about. No.
But so like Teen Titans and like Young Justice back in the day, they were like some of the most popular shows on Cartoon Network, but they got canceled. And then I was doing some reading around and I found out why they got canceled. And I can't confirm or deny this because, take everything you read on Tumblr with a grain of salt.
I do.
But those, what was that?
I said I do.
Yeah, but those shows were apparently canceled because the show is popular with both male audiences and female audiences, and they thought that they couldn't sell toys to the girls, so they canceled those shows. Because even though they were more popular overall, they were less popular necessarily with like the male demographic specifically. So they felt like they couldn't market toys or action figures to the girls watching the show, so they canceled the shows to make time slot for, shows that they could market toys for boys. Toys.
It's crazy, like, how far we've come in, like, so little time in that kind of concept where we're just like, oh, how could you be so simple-minded when you're like, somebody whose job is to, like,
make billions of dollars.
Make billions of dollars looking at, like, marketing statistics. You would have to pick up the fact that both boys and girls are interested in everything.
Right, or that girls are like 51% of the population.
Right, like how can we be like this? Like that wasn't that long ago to be like still be like, nah, it's not a viable thing. And it's like what? That's like half of people.
If I made a decision for the company that lost them like billions of dollars, I would be fired. But these dudes are like still the CEOs of these companies, and like I just had to move out of my last apartment because the ceiling fell in, and I was sleeping on the floor for 9 months. Like I don't fucking get it.
Yeah, it's it doesn't have to make sense.
It doesn't.
We'll slip ass backwards into positions, and there they stay.
When you're I don't know. It's truly.
When you know somebody.
Capitalism is befuddling.
It truly is.
So, anyways, cartoons are great now.
Yeah.
People should be fucking happy. And if
a lot of good stuff. In fact,
you can disregard their opinions on everything.
I haven't even seen half of it because there's so much.
I haven't even watched I haven't watched a whole lot of
I've heard some good things about a lot of shows that I've been meaning to watch. Infinity Train, I heard was good. I haven't watched that yet.
Oh, I have heard good things about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good lot of them. I don't know.
Are you talking about the Rick and Morty episode or the?
And then Adventure Time just put out a special exclusively on HBO that I haven't watched yet.
Oh no shit.
But I'll probably watch that one night when I'm,
Yeah. Ready to cry?
Yeah, probably, honestly. I don't know. I watched that whole series. I'd seen a lot of it, but I didn't finish it until I just finished it like a year ago, and it was good. I liked the ending. Yeah, I feel like it's hard to, maybe not hard. People seem to have kind of got it down now, but it seems like from a writing standpoint, like we're writing an ending to a show that's literally about anything happening. Like Rick and Morty will have the hardest finale to write of all time. Or they won't if they embrace it. Like all these shows like Calvin and Hobbes is I think the most purest original example of that, where it's like here's these characters that they can do anything because whatever. That one's based on imagination. Rick and Morty's based on weird make believe science that exists only in this universe, but it just everything works. But when you have this universe has no boundaries, it's hard to. I think a lot of people struggle to make an ending that fits that. But I think the answer that a lot of these people have found is to just be like, they're gonna keep doing what they've been doing. You just won't see it anymore. Like you have your ending. Your send off has to be like them being like, off we go on another adventure, and then you just kind of the transmission stops. Rick and Morty is. Now that I'm thinking about it, they can be so meta that they may. Who knows? They might do something about the actual show getting canceled or something silly.
They might, or they'll probably have a big story arc and then have the story arc.
Maybe Rick will die or.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows what they'll do? They have literally 10 years of TV to do before they're out of their contract. So that's gonna be. Who knows where that will go? I'm kind of excited to see. But yeah, I think a lot of these shows that they set their thing so broad. Some people are, I think, struggle with that, and other people thrive in doing that. So I don't know what point I'm trying to make, but I guess if to end it properly, you have to be you don't want to be there doesn't have to be a conclusion when you have a very broad spectrum. The conclusion has to be something well, the show's over, but these characters will continue to do their thing off air. I think is the most successful version of that I've seen.
Yeah, it's definitely some people say that last comic from Calvin and Hobbes is one of their favorites, even though it's not really funny. It's just very sentimental.
Yeah, it's just it's a good send off.
Yeah,
it's
I know so many people who have just love that particular strip, and that I think speaks to the power of it.
Yeah, it's a great
and
strip.
Not every show can get away with that, like, oh, we do this thing ad infinitum, like, sort of ending, but a lot of shows that do it right I think that is the way to go.
Yeah.
Like, Angry Beavers, when they did their final episode, which I actually haven't seen it yet, but the final episode of Angry Beavers, I think it was not aired because it might be on, like, whatever channel.
Yeah, I don't remember how that ended, so I'm curious to hear.
So, from what I read, Angry Beavers ends with them basically finding out that they're in an animation.
It's one way to go.
Yeah, basically they're like, oh, we're an animated show, so we'll just keep doing whatever the fuck we want to do.
And then you can be like psychopaths like the people who made Dinosaurs on Fox.
Oh my god. Or How I Met Your Mother.
Where you just kill off.
Tell the ending of Dinosaurs.
So Dinosaurs, they're like, the writers naturally are like, well, what happened to the dinosaurs in real life? Oh, we have another person in the chat.
Died.
Cannon Shout. Welcome, Cannon Shout. Thanks for watching.
Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for joining in. We're talking about the depressing ending of the 1980s, 1990s.
Dinosaurs, yeah. That's what brought Cannon Shout here. They were big fans of Dinosaurs on Fox, and now they want to talk about it. So how it ends is the writers were like, okay, so it's the end of the show. What do we do? What happened to the dinosaurs in real life? Oh, they all died. So this whole show that's been completely... The only thing that makes them dinosaurs is the way they look. Everything else is just a
basically
sitcom
like
parody.
Family Matters.
Yeah, Family Matters. And so let's kill them all off in a really sad, dramatic ending with no punchline. And that's what they did.
With an environmental message, at least they let you know that corporations are bad and causing global warming.
Right, but, you know, dinosaurs lived a long time. Dinosaurs lived for millions of years. The series ran for, like, 6 years. You could have just had them.
Jesus.
I don't know if that's accurate, but, like, not long. And you could have just had them end with, hey, we're dinosaurs. See you later. Something like that.
Yeah, like, hey, I gotta go lay some eggs and make some news.
Gotta go do dinosaur stuff. Cannon Shout, I'm sure you agree with all of that. And if you do, you should follow us on Twitch.
But, you know, no pressure or anything like that.
I'm pressuring him, but, you know,
oh, okay.
Ian's not.
He's bad cop, I'm good cop.
Yeah, exactly. This is what we do. So,
although if you pay attention to the politics of the show, you know who the bad cops are.
The cops.
Yeah, but, and then Cannon Shout's gone. But,
they were a Blue Lives Matter person.
gotta get like a flag that desecrates the American flag, and we should stop.
Yeah. This is how you get people.
I think the most impressive part about the Dinosaurs TV show ending, though, is the fact that show ran long enough to have a finale.
I didn't hate the show.
I didn't hate the show. I'm just like...
I'm not sure if it holds up. I haven't watched it recently.
Like, if you look at the character design of the teenager kid dinosaur who's wearing the sneakers, like, that is not the character design of a show that you think is going to stick around for more than, like...
That's Bart Simpson as a dinosaur.
It is Bart Simpson. Well, it's... Yeah, I mean... So, I've always thought that dad is kind of like Officer Carl Winslow from Family Matters.
It is.
Except he's more of a Homer Simpson. It's honestly completely...
Honestly, all the characters...
Show made by Matt Groening?
I think all the characters... No, I didn't know that, if that's true. I think all the characters are kind of reminiscent of actually Family Matters characters, aside from the baby.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Go down the line.
The dad works at a factory, he's kind of a Homer Simpson. But they are, like, basically every character has a Family Matters...
I'm, like, sensing conspiracy. Even the grandma looks like the grandma. Holy shit. Right. We're onto something.
Oh my god.
We're gonna blow this thing wide open.
Well, we gotta draw the dinosaurs as Simpsons or the Simpsons characters.
Not the Simpsons. I'm talking about Family Matters and dinosaurs.
I'm sorry, that's right.
Even the grandma looks like the grandma dinosaur, kind of. I don't know if that's insulting. But
what's interesting, though, is that none of them actually have Mike Tyson's face.
No.
That's a reference to...
Oh, yeah, the deepfake. Cannon Shout says they had an action figure from the Dinosaurs TV show. They had the baby. I don't remember the characters' names, but I had the dad. I think it was like a Happy Meal toy.
Oh, no shit.
But it was like one of those little, the one I had was like, it had the
I don't remember a lot of these toys, but I had a couple of them. But it was like a Happy Meals one with like a little button that was like, I think, air. So you like, press the button and the body would like move slightly. That's the one I had.
Yeah, I feel like I had one, but I don't remember what I had. I think I might have had the baby too.
You did,
but
I can tell you what one you didn't have. Not the mama.
Why not?
Not the mama.
No. Oh, is that what the baby
That's
says?
what the baby says.
Come
on, man.
like,
brush up on your dinosaur
Timmy.
shit. Yeah.
What a weird show. I wonder if there's a way to watch that anymore.
I think it's all on some streaming thing. No.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
It
holds up. It's not terrible. It's still kind of funny, honestly. I haven't watched it in like probably 5 years or so, but last time I watched it, some of it's pretty funny still.
Huh. You know what show still holds up?
What?
Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah, that's another one I should rewatch. Is that on Hulu?
So good. It's on Amazon Prime, I believe.
Okay.
But here's the weird thing. Amazon Prime has a lot of shows that are on IMDb TV. If you didn't know that IMDb
I didn't know that was a
like
thing at all.
Streaming service game, yeah. But here's the thing: it's a free streaming service, kind of like when Hulu first started. But you can watch them on Amazon Prime. I'm confused what their business model is. I honestly don't know.
They're just in for the love of the game.
I guess. Well, they also have ads. Like if you're watching on Amazon Prime, even if you have a Prime membership, you still gotta watch ads on the Hulu shows. Or I'm sorry, not the Hulu shows, the IMDb shows.
Cannon Shout says, you know what holds up? Malcolm in the Middle, and I 100%
Yes,
agree.
it does.
I rewatched the entire series just recently, a couple years back.
I want to do that.
It's great. It's really
That show
good.
is fantastic. It really is.
So good.
That show is the reason I bought The Sims.
Growing up in the Midwest, like it captures some of the friends I used to hang out with, like as a kid, like in their house. Just like I remember specifically, I had this one friend. My brother was friends with the oldest brother. I was friends with the middle child, and then they had a younger brother. And they were just like, we used to laugh when that show came out because it was just like so identical. Just the mom like was like the law, and the kids would just like destroy everything. And it was so like that was them. But it's a good show, and it holds up really well. And Bryan Cranston's awesome in it, and they're all great. But
They're all so great.
Little did we all know that. Yeah, well, he's had some like issues lately, right?
Well, yeah, but he's got basically like 51st date syndrome.
Yeah, that's kind of what I had heard. Some kind of like cognitive thing. It's terrible, yeah.
That's so. I mean, I can't confirm if that's true. He's made some funny posts on Twitter, but if that's true though, about like I mean, I know he like after that show he went to be a drummer in a band. But I can't confirm if he's got like that memory, like that short-term memory.
He had mentioned that like he didn't remember making the most of the show, which is like a horrible thought, if that's true.
So, I couldn't imagine. Like, I mean, I have a hard time remembering a lot of school, like teachers' names, like.
But I think it's different than like it didn't stick out in your memory versus like your brain is just kind of like shedding.
Yeah.
Memories. I think that's more of it, because like obviously if you were in a huge hit show, you'd remember making it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That sounds like a
sad.
nightmare.
It's tragic.
I do what? That 70 show is interesting. I still like it.
I think a lot of it holds up, but a lot of it does not hold up because it just went on way too long. That's my opinion.
Well, after Eric Foreman left the show, there's no reason to watch the show anymore.
Right.
Like they bring the new guy in who he had that show. That actor, what's his name? Because I'm so curious. Because he was on that show, he was on Mad TV, and then he was on nothing. I've never seen him again, and I feel bad not for that guy because it sucks to be like the fucking replacement for the main character.
Yeah, that's hard shoes to fill. Hey guys, it's me, the new guy. I'm not as good,
Eric.
And the show will never
Daniel.
be the same. Hope you don't hate me.
Josh Myers. That's the name of the actor.
Okay, so is he Seth Meyers' brother? Because he looks like him.
Yes, he is. What the fuck? He totally is.
I was just gonna say I always kind of like got him mixed up with Seth Meyers, and the fact that you just said the name was the revelation that I had.
What? That's crazy. I never even thought about that. Jesus. So
Well,
his last credit is as a character named Barry in a TV show called Red Oaks.
Okay.
and that was in 2017 that show is over. It's a web television comedy series from Amazon. That was like right when Amazon was trying to get their streaming game off the ground. Main cast: Craig Roberts as David Myers, Jennifer Grey as Judy Myers, Josh Myers. So the main characters on this web show, their names are the Myers, and then you have Josh Myers as Barry.
It's like
what?
You missed an opportunity there.
Barry, what? That's like how the band members of ZZ Top are all have beards, and then the drummer, whose name is Josh Beard, has a mustache.
You want to color your scientist, and I'll add a few more details to this monster, and then we'll do a rock, paper, pencil.
Before this is all over. That's funny. I didn't know the ZZ Top fact. That's fun.
Oh my god, it's fucking ridiculous it's so... I made like a post about it on the Clock Crew forum like long time ago that nobody responded to, but it's
I can appreciate it.
But yeah, I will say a lot of... I'll agree with Ken and Shout. A lot of it does not hold up, but...
Yeah.
There are still some goodies in there. Or maybe it's nostalgia. I honestly haven't watched it in a while, but I feel like some of it would hold up for me.
I watched the first season, I want to say 3 years ago, and I was like, this is still good, but
I see clips here and there that I still laugh at, so I guess that's kind of where I'm coming from. But I can't say for sure because I haven't watched it in a while.
I can totally understand not being into it anymore, though.
For sure.
It's definitely more of its
niche.
time than it's very It's I think if that show came out nowadays, it probably would have been canceled as quick as that '80s show.
Yeah, which had Dennis in it.
It did. You're right. I was just about to say.
I like that you can just say Dennis, and that's like everybody knows who that is.
Right. You don't have to.
You just use a common name, and you know which character that is.
Yeah, Dennis. Everyone
knows
who
I like
Dennis
what?
is. That one Dennis. He's kind of a menace.
Yeah. Mr. Wilson hates him.
Yeah. And also...
it's like, oh, he just stomped my azaleas.
How dare he?
Oh,
one day I'm gonna...
kill him.
One day I'm gonna tell that family, give that family a piece of my mind. Dennis Reynolds from that 70s shows we were talking about. For anyone watching on YouTube or at home who does not know.
Oh, they know.
They know. They know what they did.
We're not angry, we're just disappointed.
So, when I was playing Carrion, just as we're finishing up this drawing, there's flashbacks to... I haven't figured out what I've only gotten 2 flashbacks so far, but I'm assuming we're going to find out that the one dude you play as in the flashbacks probably got ingested into the beast, and we're kind of like his consciousness or whatever. I don't know. That's just me projecting or guessing ahead of time.
Okay.
But when you're in the flashbacks, you walk around with like this one guy and then like 2 of his buddies. Maybe you're all 3 of the buddies in the mod. Who knows? But when you're walking around, you can like examine stuff, and he's talking like the one thing he says is this is antediluvian moss. And it's just like that's a interesting kind of moss.
Yeah,
and then
you're
I
right.
looked up
It
the
is.
word. Carrion's very good. A lot of people are saying good things. It's on Xbox Game Pass if you have it. If you don't, it's $5 for the PS.
Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of like a weird like horror puzzle,
but you play as the monster, which is kind of unique. I think. I mean, I'm surprised it's unique, but it is. It hasn't really been done that many times, so it's pretty cool.
It's very well done though, from what I'm saying.
Yeah, and like the art style's nice. It's like they make it pixelated, but still looks really cool.
The animations for the people like translate very well.
I know. I was like, it's like, is this mocap? these
right, that's what I thought
eight
from
characters
too. Some of the shit looks like that pixelated animation of the dude doing the MC Hammer dance in the white hoodie.
Yeah, it's similar kind of.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think there's actually references to the Thing in the
game.
It's
very
there's actually
Thing.
a decent amount of movie references I hear.
And some of the power-ups you get, you can eventually, I don't know if you've gotten this far, Ian, but you can like eventually like infect people's bodies and walk around as them.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so it's very the Thing if it were a video game.
But
if this were if the Thing came out when Super Nintendo was big, this would be the game they made because they made video games for every movie that came out back then.
They did make a Thing video game actually. It's supposed to be pretty good.
Oh, really?
Came out for the PS2.
That's awesome.
It has like a trust system. So like it's you and you have like 3 squad mates that you're like basically trying. It's like Resident Evil mixed with like SOCOM or something like that. Like going around the base, trying to solve the mysteries, trying to get to the next level, put the pieces in the right places, and then like you have 3 squad mates, and depending on like what you do, they'll either trust you more or trust you less. And if they don't trust you enough, they'll just fucking shoot you because they think you're the thing. But also, they could be the thing at any time. And it's
really
a PS2
cool
game, so it's pretty janky, but I've heard it's good.
Dude, somebody needs to make a multiplayer thing game where one person plays as the thing, and somehow you're trying to find him out. And it's like there's rounds where you're trying to stay hidden somehow. I don't know how it would work. I'm just doing that thing where people are like, I have an idea for an invention. You press a button,
Right.
and your boots, they make you fly. And it's like, okay, how does that work? And you're like, well, I don't know, but I came up with the idea.
Don't you know you're just as smart as Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and you know, a bunch of other people who are billionaires who, you know, don't actually make the thing. They just pay other people to make it.
Right. Cannon Shout says... Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, I have nothing else.
They say, are there any other indie games that you guys are excited about, even if they're obscure? I know there are some, but I'm trying to think of some. I don't really know.
So before you came into the chat, I was talking about Bomb Crush Cyberpunk, which is...
Oh, right. Yeah, there you go.
You know, but it's basically a Jet Set Radio spiritual sequel by the guys who made Lethal League. That looks great, and it's got the original composer, who's fucking nailing it with the music from what I've seen. What other indie games am I into or interested in?
I don't know if this counts as... Well, there's one indie game that I've been watching for a while. I don't know how well it will come out. It kind of looks like... It's kind of the same pixel style as like Carrion, but it's but it kind of plays like a post-apocalyptic like Fallout. It's called Death Trash, and it looks pretty cool.
Interesting. I like the name.
I've been looking at...
I'm super into Big Titty Harem. That's on Steam. If you Steam does try to sell porn games to me a lot. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Thank you so much. It looks great.
I'm even like been seeing a lot of that, and I've never played the original or anything. Not that I guess it's a spiritual successor, but still I never played Jet Set.
Yeah. Necro Barista came out recently, which looks interesting. I don't know if you heard about that one. I'm not super sure what it is. It's kind of like a visual novel, but you make choices, and it's in rendered full 3D. Basically, like, you're gonna die that night, and you gotta do some shit to maybe not die. I don't know how the game plays out, actually.
I have a feeling this one might kind of wear off pretty quick. I don't know. We'll see. It depends on the developers adding stuff, but I'm kind of interested in Fall Guys because it's like a...
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's like Wipeout meets like a battle royale. So you're like 60 people and you just gotta do little stupid like obstacle courses, and it narrows people down.
Yeah.
I think that'd just be a fun one to play with some friends, just because it's kind of silly and quick. I don't know.
It's that one looks pretty fun. It looked like a
It's coming out. It's one of the PlayStation puts free games every month for.
Have it in mind. If I don't think about it like constantly.
PlayStation puts out free games every month for PS Plus. If you you're not listening to me.
There was another one I was gonna say, but I don't remember anymore. I'm sorry, everybody.
So, I'm gonna say it again, but PlayStation puts out free games every month if you like have the subscription, and the one next month is one of them is Fall Guys. They're giving it out for free, so I'll let you know if it's any good. We should get it and play on PC.
Definitely, I'd love to.
But I can
it looks like something this tablet might run. I don't understand what games this tablet will and won't run.
Right, it's like what's the deciding factor?
I don't know. I just tried to play Final. So I think the deciding factor is if I can modify the resolution and other factors. But like I tried to play Final Fantasy IX, which is also on Game Pass on this thing.
Okay.
And because this thing, because this tablet is like zoomed in double the size because it's a small screen, so they want you to be able to read the text, so they technically double the resolution. Every game, every game natively wants to run at the resolution of 2770 by 2360 or some shit like that. It's like a crazy resolution I've never seen before. it's way too high. So like I open up Final Fantasy 9 and they don't let you modify the resolution, and like the game just chugged because like could not handle it.
Well, that's pretty lame.
I had an idea for tonight's rock paper pencil.
Oh, that's perfect. I was just about to ask.
So, unreleased Mario enemy.
Have you seen the leaks?
That's exactly why I'm thinking that.
I loved my favorite. What were some of your highlights of those leaks?
Well, they finally got. So they found the. We should just get backstory, I think, on the whole thing.
Sure. Yeah. I might not even know the full backstory, but.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to fill folks.
So what do we want to do the themes so we can draw what we're talking?
Unreleased. Do you want to do Mario villain or Nintendo villain? Because it's kind of like
let's do like some kind of like unreleased Nintendo material. Does it necessarily have to be a villain?
Okay, cool.
Let's just do Nintendo leaks.
Nintendo leaks. I love it. It's almost like WikiLeaks, except it's more fun.
Yeah, everyone loves them.
So the Nintendo leaks, Cannon Shout, you might know about this already. You seem pretty hip. You seem like a pretty cool guy, Cannon Shout. You said some cool stuff in the chat.
You want to make another layer because Ian 1 has some of the boundaries.
Oh. Yeah,
How about layer 2 is yours too?
Yeah, I'm gonna move layer 1 to the top for Ian 1.
I have Ian 2, 3, and layer 2 hidden. How about that?
Okay.
Does that work? They're right next to each other.
Ian 2, 3, layer 2. Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna hide yours. It sucks because whenever you make layers called top, I think Top Cat Yo.
Oh my bad. I won't do that anymore.
No, it's okay.
But I won't. Yeah, it's fine.
But
Virtuaverse,
so
Cannon Shout says, if you like Death Trash, you like Virtuaverse. I'll look into that. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I actually haven't heard about Death Trash. I should check that out.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's kind of like a weird like 8-bit I don't know what I mean when I say 8-bit. I'm probably using it wrong, but it's like a pixelated like Fallout kind of looking thing. Looks pretty cool.
Sick.
I've been watching it for a while. It's been guys. I don't know. I watch him on Twitter. He posts like updates all the time of like how it's coming along. Looks really cool. I will totally check out Virtuaverse.
So the Nintendo leaks, as we start drawing these, and I can't look at the chat anymore, so anytime Cannon Shout says something, you gotta let me know.
Alright, I'll pass that along, yeah.
But, so the Nintendo leaks happened. I don't know how it happened, but I guess somebody hacked something Nintendo related. And they just got a whole bunch of unreleased material from, it looks like the Nintendo 64 generation, specifically, maybe some Super NES. I don't know how this happened. It's super illegal, but it's super awesome because Nintendo's kind of a dickhead when it comes
what's
to
the harm really in like digging into stuff that's like 30 years
25 years old? Yeah. So like the interesting thing is, first of all, I talked with you about this maybe, but Nintendo won't allow you to ever since like a certain Mario game, they won't let you add any new characters to the Mario universe, and you're not allowed to modify the designs or stylize them anymore. Like everything is final in the Mario universe now. You're not allowed to fuck with it.
What?
Even if you're making a new Paper Mario. It's the director of the newest Paper Mario complained about it.
How is that true though? Because there's new
villains in every Mario game. They always add new
stuff. But apparently they're not allowed to be part of the Mario universe. They're once and dones or something like that.
Okay.
They can't even be like
Mario, that's not true though, because like what about like Super Mario Galaxy added some new characters that have been back, Rosalind or whatever her name is, and like
Rosalina.
Rosalina.
Well, I mean, it was after like a specific game that they came out with this rule. It seems like
maybe they get to decide, and it's just like
it's one of those things that they're like,
these are the rules, but like they don't have to abide by them. It's like for third party.
Right, like
or
if you're like Miyamoto and you got like a new Mario idea, I'm sure they'll let you do whatever.
Oh yeah, sure.
But you know, Paper Mario's director is not Miyamoto; it's some other guy, so they probably don't give him quite the amount of, you know, wiggle room as Miyamoto does. I don't know the whole politics behind it. So somebody hacked Nintendo stuff, and it's interesting because the way I first saw it was that I gotta figure out what I'm gonna draw. Nintendo, like in Mario 64, there's a statue apparently that says "L is real 2401." And then this hack happened exactly 24 years and 1 month after Mario 64 and the Nintendo 64 were released. And people went into the game files and found the Luigi game model, they found his textures, and you know, that was the start of it. But like 24 years and 1 month after the game came out, L was real 2401, which is kind of wild.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, but yeah, Nintendo, fuck Nintendo, man. I haven't seen it growing yet.
I see. Cannon Shout says that's why they say Nintendo's literally a bunch of damn babies about Super Mario and Zelda. That's why I've never been a fan of those games or Nintendo products in general. I agree. The way they handle things is really dumb, but I can accept the fact that a lot of their games are still really fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
They make a lot of It's weird how they're like. It's strange, their brand, where they're like. They make the same stuff over and over. Well, not the same stuff, but you use the same cast, which is just like a strange business model. It works for them, but I wish they would do more new stuff. I'm not like
they're kind
so
of like
obsessed with.
They're like the Apple of video game companies.
Yeah, I'm not like that obsessed with Mario that like everything has to be Mario. It's strange. Like I mean, I'm cool with it because the games I think are fun, but it's just like I don't see why you're so obsessed with this. Maybe it works. They know it sells or something.
Yeah, I don't know. They really do it. Like they're great console makers and they're great game makers, but like business wise, they make a lot of very
strange choices, and their internet services
god awful. How are they so far
behind? I will never understand.
I don't know. It's so stupid. But yeah, so a bunch of like unreleased material from Nintendo games has been just coming out of the woodwork ever since this leak happened. Starting with the Mario 64 stuff, but now they're moving on to like unreleased like Zelda characters, unreleased
Star Fox
Mario
characters,
Star Fox. So what are your favorite leaks so far that have been?
So in Super Mario Brothers for Super Nintendo, they found a sprite of Luigi flipping you off, which is hilarious. That some developer made it as a goof, and then it got left behind and found like 20 years later. That's fun. I also really liked the Yoshi prototypes. Are hilarious.
I don't know if you've seen them. To make them.
No, there's different shapes of Yoshi. Didn't always look the way he. I mean, like when they were figuring out how he looks, he's all sorts of weird shapes. He's all stretched out and strange, and it would have been much harder to put him in a go-kart years later had they used some of these other designs.
Yeah, with the Yoshi sprites, they found that when. I think it looked like the finalized Yoshi design, but like extra animations they hadn't found. But they used to have it so that when Mario would make Yoshi spit like things out, like he can grab
punch him in the back of the head.
Back out. They had it originally where Mario conks him on the head with his fist, and that's what makes Yoshi shoot the shit out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Which is funny because they're just like, yeah, maybe that's too violent for Mario to do to his friend or whatever the fuck. But they also found the uncompressed waveforms of audio recordings for all the lines for like Star Fox, Mario 64.
And there's some characters that never existed in the universe, like prototype characters for Star Fox.
Yeah, and like all like the weird reaction faces, and like I found an uncompressed "I can't let you do that, Star Fox." Somebody, I think yesterday, they found the "So long, lay Bowser" or "So long, gay Bowser," which it's the classic line that everyone says. He's saying "So long, gay Bowser." It's obvious he's saying "So long, a Bowser," but he does hit that G pretty hard and long, and then it sounds like he's saying "So long, gay Bowser," and it doesn't sound any better. Like it doesn't sound any less like that in the uncompressed audio, but it's still great that classic piece of video game whatever has been.
Let me see if I can. I'm still listening, but Ken Shout is asking about the Yoshi. I'm gonna finish my drawing a little bit more, but
okay.
But I'll find that and post it. It's pretty hilarious. It's like one of the things me and Morgan laughed the most at, just because it was like everybody knows how Yoshi's supposed to look now because of how Nintendo is about their properties. Everything is very set in stone. So the different like when they're still like. You could tell it was like one artist like sending like different thumbnails to whoever the art director was and being like, how about this? And like they all just look so wrong because we all know how it's supposed to look now.
Yeah. The uncompressed audio files, and then just the fact that they managed to get that Luigi from Mario 64 is pretty incredible.
I know, that's awesome.
But yeah, the mostly it's the uncompressed audio files I think are the most fun.
Yeah. And then there's some. It's interesting. Like one I saw last night was they had a original different song for the menu of Mario Kart and stuff like that. Where it's wow, it's like that. If you played the original Mario Kart song for me right now, I would instantly know it's Mario Kart. So it's cool how just it could have been something completely different.
Yeah.
It's
actually pretty good.
Another week I was thinking about that. I can't remember what I was going to say.
I have such a bad short-term memory with my thoughts. But there's been just so many leaks. Oh, you know what? They found the original prototype audio for all of Mario's sounds in Mario 64, and it turns out they had apparently used a sound effects library of Mel Blanc's voice clips from like Looney Tunes. So it used to be that when Mario would like get burnt in the ass, like falling in lava or in like ice, it used to sound like, you know, Mel Blanc going like, oh, like fucking Bugs Bunny or something like that. It's That's hilarious. Weird. I highly recommend looking into it.
I will look into that. Yeah.
It's a treasure. This is the best shit to happen in Nintendo in years, in my opinion. I finally figured out what I'm going to draw. It's not great, but
mine's not good.
When I wrote this down, I actually wrote down notes for tonight's show in case we hit like a roadblock in terms of conversation. But when I wrote down the idea for this rock paper pencil, I guess I didn't think of any ideas ahead of time, which would have been cheating, so I'm glad I didn't, but still. But hearing uncompressed, I can't let you do that, Star Fox, was kind of magical, not gonna lie.
Right, because, like, no one's ever heard, like, that side of it, I suppose.
Yeah. And it's just such a, I don't know, something about that particular voice clip, it's like the perfect villain audio clip. I don't know why, I guess maybe because I grew up playing Star Fox 64, but, like, Wolf was a bad dude, man. Like, he would, like, when that dude and his squad rolled into your, like, map, the 2 maps in Star Fox 64 that he actually is in, like, you were just like, Jesus Christ, this is gonna suck. And you fucking had to deal with it. So when he's like, I can't let you do that, Star Fox, you're like, oh no. So hearing
dang it, he's really not gonna let me do it.
No, he's not gonna let you do it if you can try.
I was hoping to do it, and he's really not gonna let me.
Yeah. It sounds like an anime villain, when, like the line recorded. It's just, it's that good shit. I can't let you brew that, Starbucks.
Is that a meme?
I don't know. It should. I mean, I think it was. I remember. I would be surprised if that joke hasn't been done before. But look, yeah, the Mel Blanc voice clips are pretty great too. Overall, it's pretty great. Like, obviously, you know, hacking is bad. Don't do it. It's not good. Intellectual property is sacred. But
I feel like there's harmless versions of it, and there's the opposite.
Nintendo made the money they're gonna make off of these assets, so it's fine. Oh, you know what? The other thing that they released in the game directory of Legend of Zelda, the hook shot is called the fuck shot, I guess. I don't know why.
Because it's people fucking around at work, and somehow some of it got left in there.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
That's when I laugh at that stuff. It's just because it's like, because that's like the childish shit that we all would do at our job. That somehow, you know, there's somebody who's like old now who worked on those games that's chuckling that got released. They're like, I remember when that happened. I remember when I called it the fuck shot. That was so funny, but I already made my money and now I'm retired. And
2 stories kind of along that line. Back in the day, I guess, like when Disney was like still kind of like not the powerhouse that it is today, somebody made a goofy drawing of Minnie Mouse and Mickey Mouse fucking, and then they showed it at a party, and then Walt Disney was there, and at the party, Walt Disney was like, "Oh my God, ha ha ha, that's so funny. Who drew that?" And then, like, the next day, the dude was fired. Like, that's. I mean, it's a shitty story, obviously, because for that guy, but that's. you know, something along those lines of people having fun and then somebody goes and fucks it up.
Right.
And
Disney's another one. Who knows? How long before Disney buys Nintendo or vice versa or whatever? They're all kind of the same
honestly, I'm just waiting.
ballpark.
Fucking A, it's all going to be one corporation in the long run.
Yep.
But, the other story is, have you ever played Dungeon Defenders?
No.
It's alright. It's like a tower defense game where you set traps, you have powers, you basically try and stop the dudes from getting to the doors, and you can play it with like up to 4 friends. It's a good time waster. I listened to a lot of podcasts while I was just like getting to the last level. Eventually it becomes so impossible because you need to have like friends with you to play it.
What's the bad design?
Apparently on the development team for that game, somebody made a drawing as a joke of like the only girl character in the game kind of looking pretty like sexy, I guess. Like she's like, her clothes is like, you know, she basically made a joke like, oh, here's a sexy drawing of the character. And it was like one of the official artists on the show. And then I remember the one time I was like on the Steam like front page and like they had that drawing on the front page and I was just like, aren't they like kids? Like that's weird promo art to release. And then I found out in an article after Dungeon Defenders 2 was released, I read an article where apparently the development culture for that game was pretty fucking horrible and like everyone was like overworked and it sucked. Oh, oops, I still have set to multiply. And so anyways, apparently the story behind that drawing was that, you know, one of the artists on the game made that as a joke, and then the guy who like ran that company was like a real piece of shit, and he found that drawing and it was like, fuck yeah, dude, let's release this sexy promo art of this character who I'm pretty sure is a child. And that's that story. That's it.
Yikes.
So, you know, when you're a developer having fun, it's good to have a good time. You know, enjoy the stuff, enjoy your job, enjoy the stuff you're working with. But you know, also, yeah, you know, fucking corporations don't understand. That's my bit. That's all I gotta say about that.
I'd say it's pretty accurate.
That's all I have to say about that. That was Gump by Weird Al Yankovic. How's your drawing coming along?
Pretty good. Well, I just got a color now.
Yeah, I'm like drawing one last foreground element, and I gotta color that, and then I gotta write the caption.
Have you colored
over it,
yet?
and I am ready to go.
You're coloring it now?
Just about. I'm like, most of it's colored, at least in order to get the point across. Kind of like needed color. Now I'm just like finishing up one last element, and I'm gonna have to color that, but that shouldn't take too long. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone.
What's it?
That band, Bush, they made a song called Peaches and Cream.
Okay.
And there's like 80 songs. Like every band that's made enough songs apparently has a song called Peaches and Cream. If you like, Beck has a song called Peaches and Cream. I don't remember who else, but I just remember seeing at least like 5 songs from different bands, all different songs, called Peaches and Cream. It's like a weird,
very interesting
metaphor, I guess musicians like to use.
Candy Shot says, that sounds nefarious, but it's not the most damning thing to happen in the industry. At least it's not like Randy Pitchford stealing bonuses from his staff members.
Yeah, that guy's kind of
right.
Shit. Piece of shit.
Randy Pitchford is a real piece of shit. It's almost become like a meme at this point. Like,
it's also annoying, like how much he thinks people like him.
Yeah. He's kind of like...
It's one thing when you suck and then you're also like, I'm not stepping down or anything, I'm still in charge of this operation. It's like, oh, okay.
So you're a...
Leave that stain on... I'm sure the stockholders are psyched about that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, we were talking about that with the
Yeah, with
cartoons
Zach.
and like how the guys who like make terrible decisions that like lose the company billions of dollars because it's a terrible decision based on like shitty fucking like market metrics or whatever, that based on like antiquated ideas, like loses a company so much money and then they still just have their job because like they're considered important.
Yeah. It's like,
I think Seinfeld had like the best takedown, not the best takedown, but they have a pretty good takedown of like how unimportant those guys are, because you know they have, when George Costanza gets the job at the Yankees, like the guy who runs the Yankees that like is voiced by Larry David and you never see his face.
Yeah.
He's just like completely batshit.
He was a real person in real life. It's the actual coach of the Yankees, or the owner at the time.
And you know, it like how he is, how that character is in the show is basically how I imagine CEOs, where it's just like they're just so detached from reality, they'll like cancel a meeting so they can have a fucking calzone and then be like, yeah, but I'm super important, like I'm making big decisions. Like, no, you're not. You just write the check. I don't know.
Right.
I feel like so many other people could make better decisions than like I see fucking corporate heads doing. Maybe I'm bitter, I don't know.
Maybe. But
I mean, I'm definitely bitter.
there's reasons to be bitter.
Yeah, a lot of reasons to be bitter nowadays. I am almost done.
Just in case you're wanting a canon shout, the reason you can't see Ian's drawing is because we do this segment at the end of every show where we each draw a theme and neither of us can see what the other person's drawing. Unfortunately, since I host, we don't have any good way of... it would be cool if we could show the viewers what everybody was drawing without us seeing it. But,
Yeah.
But, I don't know, the reveal's kind of fun for everybody, I think. But anyway, so everybody can see mine because I'm hosting, and then I'll reveal Ian's at the end. But
If we ever get like a budget, we can have like
Ian doesn't know what I'm
like,
drawing
switching
either.
to camera A, camera B, or some shit like that. I don't know. But we're just a homebrew operation here. But yeah, when you get the chance, definitely check out that Rick and Morty show. It's pretty confusing, honestly. It's a fucking confusing story.
I will check
I mean,
it
it sort
out.
of makes sense.
Even if I don't understand it in the end, I'm cool watching it solely for the animation quality.
Yeah, the animation's pretty superb. I will say there's like a section in it where Rick is talking to Morty, and he's a little too wholesome and nice. Then
It doesn't
I
feel
I was
right.
kind of like, what was that?
It doesn't feel right.
It was, yeah, I was like, this is a little out of character for Rick, but also he does love Morty in a sense. It's just he wouldn't normally be so.
Right. Comes out once in a while,
it
but
does-
it has to be like forced out of him.
Yeah, but it does sort of make sense by the end of the
Alright,
short.
cool. I'll check it out.
It's me, it's me, it's me, I'm Mario. Dun, 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 dun. Wah, 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 wah. It's me, it's Mario. I got. Wait, it's me, it's me. So let's go. Wah, 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 wah,
Here's
wah,
Cannon
wah.
Shout's take. They say, corporate heads and CEOs exist to write checks, talk to investors, ensuring that the company stays on track and each department has the necessary supplies they need. This idea that CEOs are integral to the company is bullshit. They exist as fucking meteors between departs. That's as far as the job goes. They just believe they have an importance due to the size of their checks, and they don't.
Louder for the
Wow.
people.
I
in
was
the
gonna
back.
say that. Wow, this is. Here we go. Cannon Shout
This is good
speaking
shit.
the language that we usually go on about most episodes.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? I am writing a comic where a cult forms in a dystopian future to kill all the corporate CEOs, so it's not like,
It might be a history book soon. We'll see.
hey, you know, if we
Not to
survive
like
long
wish,
enough.
not to wish like, you know, death cults on people, but it could happen. You know, I saw what happened to France years ago.
Oh yeah. You're talking about when they made baguettes, right?
Exactly, and they're delicious. And I'm thinking soon we'll make some kind of new bread that will unite us all.
We're all making sourdough at home. Oh, you know what? You ever have like, I guess since I'm using a tablet, it happens more often on this thing. But like if I'm moving like around the screen, I have to use my finger to like move it sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes like it'll draw a big dot instead of like moving the screen. But
I don't really zoom in very often.
This time the big dot works though.
I usually I just have the well, I have to for. I guess I could leave it, but I usually leave it full screen so everybody can see everything happening.
Oh, true. Because it's based on your screen, how everyone sees everything. It's me. Yeah, wahoo! I'm gonna stop this bit. I don't know why it's in my head now.
We'll work on it later.
This happens every episode. I make a stupid parody of a song and then it's stuck in my head and I just repeat it till we're done with the show.
Basically, yeah. But it wouldn't be the show without it.
Goddamn right. If I wasn't being an annoying piece of shit, we wouldn't really have much going for us.
It would upset the dynamic.
It's true. It's what our friendship is like. It's the foundation of it.
Am I just permanently the straight man in this operation?
No, you're just the not annoying guy.
I don't know. I don't know if you've witnessed my full range. I can be annoying.
I mean, that's true. We're both like the same person, so I feel like we're probably equally culpable. All right,
I'm just about done. I kind of did a rush job on the coloring to get it out in time.
All right, I'm just about done.
Get going here pretty soon.
All right. Yeah. Anytime you're ready.
I'm almost
I'm
done. I'll let you
adding,
know. I'm adding some small details.
Yeah, I'm just adding like a little extra accoutrements.
I've been when I sit down with the family, I've been watching a show lately called Black Books. It's like a British comedy. Turns out it's made by that transphobic piece of shit Graham Linehan, but it's a funny show. It's about you know the boyfriend in Shaun of the Dead who gets ripped apart at the window in like 5 pieces by all the zombies.
Yeah.
Starring that actor and a guy. You remember the guy who had the twin brother in Hot Fuzz?
Yeah, we actually just watched Hot Fuzz last night.
Oh, nice. So that guy plays the other guy in the show. It's about the first guy, the shitty boyfriend, runs a bookshop, but he's like eccentric and weird, and he hates running the bookshop. And then the other guy like gets a job at the bookshop, and like they've got a friend. What's her name? She's like the Elaine of the show. The show reminds me a lot of Seinfeld because it came out pretty much right after Seinfeld was done, and it just has a lot of humor in situations that I'm like, that could be a Seinfeld thing. But it's pretty funny. I'm enjoying it.
Cool. Yeah. No, I'll have to check that out perhaps.
It kind of sucks when like somebody who makes a funny thing that you enjoy turns out to be a piece of garbage.
I know, it's hard. You feel conflicted separating the art from the artist sometimes, but
yeah,
I don't know, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, it's a weird.
We talked about that on the show before.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's hard to know how you should react to that. I don't think you should totally feel guilty for liking the thing, but also maybe you could see how to decide how you're going to react to their work in the future.
Yeah. And, if you can, if you find out they're a piece of shit,
Like, I'm allowed to, like...
the old Mad Max movies, but when I see, like, them trying to, like, give Mel Gibson roles now, I'm like, nah, that's okay. Let's leave him in the dust. He doesn't need jobs.
Yeah, after you say all that shit in a phone call, like, and he said some shit. Like,
Yeah, he
you
did.
probably shouldn't. You probably shouldn't be starring in any movies. Least of all, like kids movies, like Dad's Home or whatever the fuck. Like, are those kids movies or are they just like shitty looking comedies?
They're shitty comedies, but they're not kids movies. I don't think.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, I don't know. Like that was like supposed to be. I think, it didn't really take, which is good. But that was supposed to be, I think, like his comeback, and
I think so.
and BoJack Horseman kind of made fun of that, which is good. But
Oh, really? Nice.
kind of ripped on it. They made a character that wasn't exactly Mel Gibson, but that's who it was supposed to be. And it was like
Is that in the newest season?
No, it was a couple seasons back, but he did the same kind of shit, and then they gave him his like comeback, and he's just like waiting to like, cause he's like, oh yeah, they'll always come back. It's just I have to wait. My publicist says like to wait, and then whatever.
Oh yeah, I do think
But same idea. But yeah. But no, I'm glad it didn't take because he stopped giving that guy jobs. Not like cancel culture is a whole nother thing, but this is beyond cancel culture. It's not having a opinion of what he said. Everything he said was just like the worst stuff in the world.
Fucking racist.
Yeah. And the Cannon Shout just said, most things that we enjoy are actually created by horrible people like J.K. Rowling. And yes.
Yep, very true. She was
Psychopath.
the next person I had in mind.
By the way, did you know that Harry Potter's favorite food is broccoli? It wasn't in the books, but just thought you'd like that little addition to the canon.
No shit.
Yeah, just so you know, in case you were wondering. Also, Snape loved to knit.
Oh wow, that just opens up.
Just giving you a little bit more details there on the whole universe, fleshing it out a little bit more.
Really, just bringing these characters up to the 21st century.
That's right. Mine's ready whenever. If you
I
want.
am ready. I just finished my last detail.
I'm going to reveal yours.
Yep. 3, 2, 1. Go. Oh my
Dude,
god.
You're gonna laugh when you see. Oh, that's great.
I love the farting star.
You're gonna laugh when you. Okay, now I have to show you the things because yours is like one that actually was one of the prototypes, like pretty much dead on.
No shit.
Yeah, they did several, and one of them is a long, weird, skinny Yoshi that would not, like I said, wouldn't have fit in a go-kart very well. Maybe they played the longevity into. Maybe that was part of the design choices. They're like, wait, we're gonna use the same 8 characters for the next 40 years, so
Right.
he has to fit into a go-kart. He has to be able to play tennis. Definitely has to be able to play soccer, or else this is not going to work if he looks all gangly like a spider.
I considered calling him a slender Yoshi, but I feel like the Yoshi is more intimidating.
I like that he's just like it almost appears in your drawing that he exists in the same universe as normal Yoshi, and Mario is upset by this scary silhouette he has stumbled upon. He's like, that looks familiar yet wrong.
And then like he like gets closer. He's like, oh no, I thought that Yoshi was much closer than he actually is.
And it's like, Yoshi. He's like,
Yoshi.
We gotta go.
Boing boom, boing boom. I love how your toad is like. Is that a crowbar or a whip?
It was supposed to be a crowbar, but that'd be pretty cool too. It's like a dom thing going on.
Yeah.
I'm still looking. Okay, I think I found I just look for the Yoshi thing. It's a GIF, so I'm not sure how to post it anywhere. Here, I'll send you the. You might be you're I don't know. Here, I'll send it to you on Discord, and then maybe you can find a way to post it.
Yeah. Oh my god! What the fuck?
It's kind of hilarious.
Oh, since it's a GIF, it makes it a little bit more difficult. But I can.
Yeah, I can actually just drag the window over. I'll just do that. So here's some,
Oh yeah.
here's some of the great different designs of Yoshi.
Holy shit!
There's one that has full-on tennis shoes. They're like fatter. No, give him shoes. No, let's scrap this. Make him smaller. Give him shoes again. No, give him big nose. Not that big. There we go. Got it.
Oh boy, that's like.
But the first one is pretty much a long Yoshi.
It's like. Yeah, it's like they started out as
dinosaur. Like they like gave him a Velociraptor as the model. But it has to look like something from Mario. It would have been fun to ride like a giant dinosaur in Mario, but...
Hell yeah, Dinotopia, man.
Yeah,
Well,
so it was a process. Anyways,
it was.
that makes for the end of the show. Let me save this drawing real quick.
I'm trying to think like what the scariest sound long Yoshi could
I know.
is.
Big Yoshi. It's just like...
What?
I don't like that. Like a weird...
What is that sound he makes? And like.
I think it's him like eating stuff, right? Like swallowing. Yeah? I don't know.
Yes.
It sounds like somebody stomping their feet, like, or I don't even know what the fuck. Like, I don't know. I don't know too much about animal noises.
If you've Cannon Shout says Yoshi was a Velociraptor, and if you have seen the live action movie, you will know that he's like some kind of small dinosaur. Cannon Shout is asking our stream schedule. We normally air Mondays at 8 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yes. So
And
that's the regular time that you can check us out. Sometimes we do some gaming during the week. We haven't done that in a little while. Sometimes we do little pop-up episodes, but that's all few and far between. I would say if you want to watch it, Mondays at 8. You should follow us, though. Not to pressure you, but I am. Follow us, and you'll get little notifications, and you'll know when we're on, too. So that's a little bonus.
What is man? A miserable pile of follows. But enough talk. How about you? Ba ba boo wah boo wah ba bwah.
I don't know what that reference is, but...
Castlevania.
Okay, there you go. I didn't... Yeah. Sure some of our viewers will appreciate that. Is that from the... Is that from the game or the anime?
From the game, actually. I forget. Hold on, I'm gonna find it for you because it's like you finally see Dracula at the end of I think Symphony of the Night or something like that, and he says, "What is man?"
Cannon Shout got it, so there you go. It worked. That's why I had to kill the momentum by being like, "Huh? I don't know what that is." I should just shut up, let you do your thing. You kill Dracula.
You kill Dracula. Well, actually, Alucard, which is your character in I forget which. I think maybe Castlevania 2. But your character is
Cannon
Alucard,
Shout says
and
it's the
that's
PlayStation 1 version.
I need to see that show still. I need to see the.
It says Castlevania Symphony of the Night, the game PS1 in the intro level when you meet Dracula.
Here you go. I don't know if you want to put a 10-second YouTube clip on the screen.
Sure.
Pretty solid voice acting for a PS1
What
game.
is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. Have at you.
See, I know the references. I just don't know the origins.
Dracula says, "Have at you," which it holds up because he's been around a while, so he talks like a Shakespeare man.
He's like, how about you?
Avast!
Prithee,
Perry!
get thee to a nunnery. I was trying to think of what would be a clever.
Perry, get in here! This guy's coming at me. Perry, pull the van around.
Hi there, I'm Dracula.
I'm Dracula's familiar Perry. I drive the van.
I'm gonna bite your neck.
You best watch out, because I'm going to nibble on the neck of yours.
I'm gonna nibble.
I haven't eaten in a while.
Neck. I'm gonna nibble it.
Me and Morgan have been watching What We Do in the Shadows. I never saw the second season of the show, so we've gotten to that
second
now.
season's really good stuff.
Yeah.
It's still great.
Been digging it so far, so we're a little bit into that. We just watched an episode or two. But on that note, I'm going to play us out. Unless you have anything you'd like to say or plug before we go.
Oh, yeah, for plugs, watch DrawBomb 8 p.m. EST every Monday. Pay us money if you want us to draw stuff for you.
Yeah.
You suck at producing, great music making tutorials. If you like the music on the show, I did all of it. I got nothing else, man.
Watch Dinosaurs on Fox.
Watch Dinosaurs on Fox.
Weekdays at 6. Probably like
Probably.
20 years ago. But don't watch the last episode. And if you
Don't
do
watch
have
the
the
last
tissues ready, boy, that's a real tearjerker.
Oh boy, you are not going to be able to think for the next week.
All right, I'm gonna play us out.
Alrighty. Mario.
I mean, it's going. We're now in the middle of it. It's a halfway point. Nope. You went way too long. Way too long.
I got
Gosh,
jazzy with it.
Yeah, you started to scat. That's when I knew it was going off the rails.
Skibbity-doo-doo-doo.
All right, thanks for watching. Thanks, Cannon Show. Thanks,
Thank you,
Vinny Short Kid, for watching as well. Follow us and tune in next week. Adios, bye.
Like it so much.
Yes, we like you so much, so you know it's mutual. Anyways.